You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News This Morning, the TBI is investigating after 2 people were found dead in Ashland City. We'll tell you what we know.
And the forecast here, waking up dry for the time being, but a couple of showers later today. We'll track those coming up in your Code Red forecast.
Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning, just after 4 a.m. Here on your Tuesday morning, I'm Justin McFarland. We are going to begin with something that we are following out of Ashland City, Operation Crime and Justice. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has now opened up a homicide investigation into the deaths of at least 2 people in Ashland City. Now, the TBI says that the victims are 66-year-old Carl Schoenfeld and 33-year-old Terry Lee Anderson Jr., who were shot and killed on Sunday. The shooting happened over on Chestnut Road. No other details are available right now, but the investigation is ongoing. The city of Hendersonville is throwing a benefit concert tonight to try and help the community after the December tornadoes hit their city very hard. Now, city leaders are hoping to bring the community together for some good times and a good cause. It's called the Hendersonville Rising Concert. There will be local artists as well as food and drinks. It all kicks off at 5:30 at the Premier Center. Andy Gilley is the Hendersonville Parks and Rec Director. He says that the damages to the city's parks is significant.
We have right now over $700,000 in damages in our local parks. One of the most damaged areas was the Hendersonville High School baseball field. So we're trying, some of that will be covered by insurance, some of it won't.
Gilley says that so far insurance is covering around $200,000 worth of damage, and they still have another $500,000 left to go. Ticket prices are $55 a piece, and every penny goes to helping Hendersonville recover. We'll have a lot more on tonight's benefit concert coming up on Fox 17 News this evening at around 5:30, and then of course later on in our morning show at around 4:30 with a live report from Hendersonville.
4:02, waking up here to a little bit of a colder start. Cold enough here where we're in the upper 20s and low 30s that there could be some frost on your windshield. If you parked outside last night, keep that in mind. Either the defrost or the scraper might be necessary for the first few hours of today till the sun tries to come up. We're blanketed by clouds, though. That's been the case for several days, and that will continue today. A couple of light rain showers mix in this afternoon toward the evening, and then overnight tonight if you're in the plateau, could see a couple of flurries. Good news is, no winter impact from any of this. We're not going to see anything that sticks. It shouldn't give us problems on the roads for tomorrow morning. Just a couple of flurries. We'll find the best days in the forecast in the 7-day, but just know that for this morning, that really is the big note. The frost that will be out there and just having to work through that, it might give you a few more minutes before your wheels out and you're moving along town. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast. Let's find those best days for you. 57 degrees on Thursday, 62 on Friday. However, we have a little dip in temperature before we begin to climb leading into the weekend. After we hit 54 today, we do see things cool down as those flurries exit the plateau. 45 degrees for your Wednesday. If you're making plans for the upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, Saturday is for sure your pick of the weekend to be outside. No worries. 62 degrees for the afternoon, plenty of sunshine, but coming up in about 10 minutes from right now, we're going to look at future track and plan hour by hour when the first raindrops start to fall later today.
Stay clear traffic for you this morning at 4:04. Quick look outside. It's going to be 24 Haywood Lane. As you make that drive into town, we're doing really nice out there so far this morning. No big significant slowdowns in either direction. We're looking good north, south, east, and west so far. Glad to see it. We did see some significant issues with potholes yesterday, and we expect that to be the case yet again today. So watch out for that, as there are plenty of them no matter where you're going out there. We're going to talk more about that as the morning goes on. This morning's crisis in the classroom. The state of Tennessee is giving rocket ship Nashville Northeast Charter School the gift of time. This is after the Metro School Board voted to shut the school down. Now, back in November, Metro School Board denied rocket ship's renewal application. It was an 8-1 vote. But the charter school appealed the decision to the state level. Now, the Metro Nashville Public Schools Director of Charter spoke with Fox 17 and cited concerns about the school's high absentee rate as well as their trouble retaining teachers. However, a rocket ship representative said that the school is high performing. On Friday, the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission voted unanimously to allow Rocket Ship to be open for at least the next 10 years.
A new report says rent prices continue to drop in Nashville. Coming up in a few minutes, I'll have more details on that.
Funk 17.
4:07 is the time after more than half a decade of rent increases. There's a brand new report that says that rent is actually falling in Nashville. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joins us live with hopefully some good news to see if it sticks and stays this time. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Justin. The report by Rent Research says that January this month marks the fourth consecutive month that rent prices have dropped right here in the South. But why? Take a look behind me. This complex is under construction on Wedgwood Avenue near 12th Avenue South, meaning it's getting ready to welcome more people. The more construction for apartments, the lower the rent prices. That's just one of the reasons, according to the rental experts. They say the rent price in the South has gone down to around $1,600. The report also adds that even though there is a decline, rent nationwide is still above pre-pandemic levels, adding $371 to your monthly rent. In contrast, the median annual income for renters have only risen 2%, according to another study by Harvard. But relief for some could still be relief. We're working on speaking to renters for the 5 to 6 o'clock hour in regards to the rent drop prices. Reporting live in Wedgwood, Houston neighborhood, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Let's take a look at your forecast and find the possibility of some rain a little bit later today. This is not a big one. This is not a code red day. And this honestly is a day where a lot of us might get lucky and squeeze away from it without seeing any rain whatsoever. Here's our next weather maker. It is a cool front. You'll notice some cooler air that does move in behind this only for a day, but it will impact our temperatures tonight and then going into tomorrow. This afternoon will be in the 50s before that rain does arrive. So taking a look at the best timing for it hour by hour, and then we'll hone in on the future radar. And this really is not going to be one of those days where we have a whole lot when it comes to hour by hour. So starting off from north and west, you just saw where it's at. This is at 8 a.m. Already seeing a few very light rain showers through portions of southern Kentucky. Then it'll continue to go down toward the south. It clips past the state line late morning into early afternoon. Metro area, I would say late morning through middle to late afternoon, best chance for a few showers. Now watch what happens. This is overnight. 6 p.m. goes into our colder hours as the temperature drops, and these little specks of pink and blue after midnight begin to develop. We could see a little bit of light mixed precipitation through areas of the plateau. It's not going to stick. It's not going to give you any winter problems. This morning, though, check on your windshield before you head out the door, or just kind of peek out the window. You may have some frost covering up your windows here to kick off your Tuesday.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get a good look here at what we're dealing with at I-40 at Dallas and Pike as you make that drive out there towards the airport. We're doing okay. So far, so good out there. No big problems in either direction. We will see those potholes. They are going to be a problem for most of the morning until the city or in the state can get around to patching those up. But right now, we're doing okay on your drive. Here are your drive times. Mount Juliet in at 24 minutes. Murfreesboro at a normal 47 minutes. Franklin, 25 minutes in from the south side. Well, coming up, a relief agency in the international spotlight as Israel is claiming that staff members joined Hamas in the October attack. We'll tell you more. Plus, road work trying to deal with both the potholes and the bigger changes to the highway and more. We will tell you some of the spots that you'll see crews on the job later this week.
Alerts in.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Live look there over the skyline of downtown Nashville, Tennessee, the ever-increasing and growing skyline there of Nashville. We're off to a nice start, but Greg says there could be a couple of raindrops headed our way. He'll tell you more about that coming up here in the next few minutes. Well, U.S. lawmakers are now voicing concerns over the United States' support to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. This is after Israel made some very serious allegations that at least a dozen of its staff were involved in the Hamas deadly attacks that happened back on October the 7th. Now, the United States froze funding to the relief agency as it reviews the claims that have been made. Several other donor countries have also followed suit. Now, the National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby says that the next step depends on what the investigation finds and how the agency responds.
These are serious allegations, even though it's a small number, percentage-wise, of the 13,000 are on the ground in Gaza. I mean, this is serious, and they are taking it seriously. So let's see where the investigation goes.
Now, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York is calling for funding to be restored immediately, noting that the primary source of the humanitarian aid to more than 2 million people in Gaza. But multiple GOP lawmakers are demanding that the U.S. cut off the aid permanently, calling the agency an anti-Semitic organization. In other news this morning, the United States is now vowing to retaliate. This is after 3 American soldiers were killed in Jordan. But some are very worried about creating a larger conflict in a part of the world that's already very volatile. Fox News' Connor Hansen has the story.
The Pentagon released the names of the 3 U.S. soldiers killed by a drone strike at a remote base in Jordan. Sergeant William Rivers, Specialist Kennedy Sanders, and Specialist Brianna Moffitt were all from Georgia. President Biden in the Situation Room discussing possible next steps with his national security team. The U.S. is blaming an Iranian-backed militia for the strike.
From the outset, we've been very clear in warning that anyone looking to take advantage of conflict in the Middle East and try to expand it, don't do it.
The Biden administration added that it does not want to start a war with Iran. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin back at the Pentagon after surgery, meeting with NATO's Secretary General.
The President and I will not tolerate attack on U.S. forces, and we will take all necessary actions to defend the U.S. and our troops.
There have now been at least 165 attacks on U.S. forces in the region. Some have been quick to criticize the administration's strategy.
It's pretty clear that the Biden administration's policies have resulted in a huge conflagration. I hear people talking about whether we're going to end up at war with Iran. I can assure you the Iranians are at war with the United States today.
The problem here is that this administration has not been responding. Eventually, those that you're shooting down their missiles will find ways around your systems.
A U.S. official told Fox News that enemy drone wasn't shot down because it might have been mistaken for a U.S. drone returning to base. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, looking ahead now to the deadline to ask FEMA for help for last month's tornadoes is now fast approaching. Now, homeowners and renters in Davidson and 6 other Tennessee counties have until February the 12th to ask FEMA for financial help. The money can be used to cover lodging costs, home repair, as well as other uninsured disaster-related expenses. So far, FEMA says they've awarded more than $3 million to 1,600 households impacted by those tornadoes. Let's talk about today's weather. Not December's weather, but today's weather is going to bring some raindrops, according to Code Red meteorologist Greg Bovis.
Yeah, that will not necessarily for everyone. Real quick in and out kind of a situation. It's not going to be an all-day thing, but there will be some rain out there kind of right in the middle of the day. Let's plan it for you. We're dry right now. There's nothing on Doppler radar. But by the time we get to around 7, 8 o'clock this morning, a few showers begin to move into parts of southern Kentucky and then continue to move more to the south. So it's going to go from the top left-hand side of your screen to the bottom right-hand side as we track those when they move in. Breakfast, though, cold. We have temperatures right now upper 20s and low 30s. All the way through 7 o'clock. Mainly on the cloudier side, maybe a flash of sunshine late morning if we're lucky. Then the clouds come back in and we bring in all of the rain chances for us here throughout the day. Got our eyes on visibility tracker. There have been a few little indications of patches of some fog that are out there, but no advisories. And as of right now, nothing too dense or widespread. You need a car wash? Well, if you don't get the raindrops today, and maybe say you're south of I-40, you're in pretty good shape. North of I-40, the chance for a few showers, I would wait until tomorrow. Then you're dry Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the forecast. No problem with any of those days trying to get a good car wash that'll last you for a little while. Let's talk weekend. Completely split in half. 62 on Saturday. Pretty good looking day. Sunday. Not so great. Scattered rain going to move in for sure. Pick Saturday if you want to have some outdoor plans and know that you'll be avoiding the rain in the forecast. Between now and then, a couple of dips, ebbs and flows in the forecast. Nighttime temperatures steadily going to stay in the 30s until we get to the weekend. Then they'll get a little boost Saturday night into Sunday as we lead into that rainy day to end the weekend.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning at 419. Quick look here at what we've got. This is going to be I-24 at Alvaville Road coming in from the Smyrna area. As you can see, no problems. We are looking really nice out there for your drive so far out there this morning with no big issues. Of course, if something does pop up, we got you covered to steer clear traffic. Just the potholes. Those are the biggest problems as we continue on out there this morning. Well, speaking about potholes, there are plenty of them across the midstate, and the Tennessee Department of Transportation is now working on trying to get a lot of those taken care of, and it could affect your morning commute for some of you as those crews get out there and start to work. Now, according to our map back here, we've got several locations where TDOT plans to be over the next few days. You can see here, Montgomery County is going to get some work starting at around 8 o'clock this morning as they start to pave parts of I-24 from mile markers 8 to mile marker 11. And then TDOT will also be widening parts of Nolensville Pike. This is on the south side of town here. That's going to be happening from north of Mill Creek Bridge all the way down to OHB. And that's going to be happening from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And that does involve some temporary lane closures. And then I-40 at Donaldson Pike, very close to the airport, right over there. Crews are going to be working to try and remodel that interchange. Big work happening over there from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. Several lanes will be closed. Now, to report a pothole, you should know the location, the route, mile marker, and nearby cross streets. Then you can call TDOT Road Repair Hotline at 833-TDOT-FIX or go to the TDOT website or the Nashville DOT website. We've got links if you need them on our website, fox17.com, including the ways to file your claim if your car was damaged by one of these potholes. Well, coming up, there's brand new developments and a sports controversy as a skater's disqualification could change the United States placement back in the 2022 Winter Olympics. We'll explain. Plus, a brand new logo for the Nashville Predators for the month of February. We're going to tell you how the design honors Black history and who they will wear it against when they unveil that shiny new jersey.
Watch Fox 17.
4:23 is the time. News from the international sports community this morning. This is as a Russian figure skater, Kamila Valieva, has now been disqualified from the 2022 Winter Olympics for doping. Now, the International Olympic Committee says that the United States Olympic figure skating team will receive gold medals for their team competition. This is after Valieva's removal knocked Russia out of the top spot in that event. Now, the United States placed second behind Russia, followed by Japan and then Canada. The 17-year-old was handed a 4-year ban from the sport. She was only 15 years old when she tested positive for a heart medication that can boost endurance. Well, looking ahead to tomorrow, that is when the Nashville Predators begin wearing a brand new special jersey designed by a Tennessee State University professor. Now, the jerseys are in honor of Black History Month, and the TSU professor, Kalina Sales, designed this logo you're looking at right here. She says that the design bridges historical and contemporary Black culture. Now, this is the second year that the Predators have chosen a TSU professor to create designs honoring Black History Month. They will debut on the ice tomorrow and later will be signed and then put up for auction. By the way, the Preds coming off of a heartbreaker of a loss overnight against the Ottawa Senators. 4-3 was the final score. Tomorrow night, the LA Kings will be at Bridgestone Arena, and they are all set to honor Black History Month, which of course is in the month of February. The puck will drop at 6:30. Let's talk to Greg. Look at your forecast.
Let's do it. Let's take a look at right now because we are starting off pretty cold. Upper 20s and low 30s, so you could have some frosty windshields here this morning. That's the big story. And the cold temperatures are going to want you to have the winter coat for sure. This afternoon, back into the 50s, but a weather maker going to keep the clouds relatively over top for us here once we get past sunrise. 28 is the current temperature in Nashville. Cold this morning we've had in a little while here, so don't let it catch you off guard. Here's what we're looking at when it comes to visibility. No fog issues right now, but a few little specks of yellow have popped up and died down, meaning at times we could see a little bit creep in. We're kind of in that zone. We have to watch out carefully, but nothing too widespread. We talked earlier about any outdoor activities you might have to do or you want to do going into the next couple of days. This is the longest dry stretch we're going to see or have seen in quite some time, starting tomorrow through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and each day gets a little bit warmer in the forecast as well. So up and up the door to 30s, 54 degrees this afternoon. We will track in rain that moves from north to south in the next check of your code red forecast going into our 4:30 half hour.
4:26 is the time. Let's check in with that steer clear traffic coming in from the west side of town. This is going to be I-40 at 46th Avenue there on the drive. You can see traffic is moving along very nicely over there on the west side. No big problems in either direction right now. We're doing okay other than, again, the possibility of some of those potholes wreaking havoc. But your drive time is looking good. Hendersonville, 24 minutes. Murfreesboro in at 49 minutes. Kingston Springs from the west side, 26 minutes, as you'll find places like Fairview and Belmead on that drive. We're looking good coming down I-40. Well, coming up, a Tennessee veteran honored for his bravery has passed away. We have a lot more on his life and service.
Picking up the pieces after the December tornadoes hit Hendersonville hard. How the community is coming together next.
If you're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, some Tennessee legislators want to expand the charges for which a judge can deny someone bail. We'll explain.
Waking up this morning, you can see I've mentioned a few patches of some fog that may develop here. I don't know throughout the morning. That and we're off to a very cold start. I'm tracking afternoon rain in your forecast.
And steer clear traffic takes us to the north side. That's I-65 at the 24 junction. It's good right now. It's not going to remain that way. I'll explain coming up in just a few. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Justin McFarland, just around 4:30 here on this Tuesday morning. A lot happening, and we're going to begin in the city of Hendersonville. That's where they are throwing a benefit concert tonight to help the community recover after the December tornadoes hit that community very, very hard. Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse joins us live outside of the Premier Center there in Hendersonville with more on that big concert.
Good morning, Justin. So the doors open here around 5:30 tonight, and the spokesperson for Parks and Rec of Hendersonville tells us that hundreds of families, their homes were destroyed, hundreds of businesses were impacted by these tornadoes, and the city's parks were also destroyed. And now they're hoping to bring the community together for a good time and a good cause. It's called the Hendersonville Rising. There's tons of local artists performing. There will be silent auction, food and drinks. Andy Gilley is the Hendersonville's Parks and Recreation Director, and he says their parks face about $700,000 worth of damage, and insurance is covering about $200,000 so far.
A tornado went right down Main Street in one of our busiest and most impactful business areas. You know, to have that many businesses impacted, it not only is bad for our local economy, but it's real bad for the people who worked there. So it could take a long time for Main Street to build back.
Now, he said it right there. Hundreds of businesses impacted directly by this, and the city also facing about $500,000 that they have to front to rebuild their parks. And the city is hoping to raise money to help the businesses get back on their feet after the tornado ripped through their city. And tickets, they're on sale for about $55, and every penny goes towards helping the community here in Hendersonville. Again, doors open here around 5:30 tonight. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your coded station.
All right, Peyton, thank you so much. Well, you can get more big stories just like this delivered right to your inbox each and every morning by signing up for our daily newsletter. You can find it on our homepage at fox17.com. In the meantime, let's talk to Greg Bobus. He's standing by with a look at your forecast.
Yes, we are. We're starting off cold here, but the big story is what's going to happen later on this afternoon and then overnight tonight, depending upon where you're at. A couple of rain showers are possible. Nothing heavy, but light to moderate rain in little pockets during the afternoon. But if you're in the Cumberland Plateau, we're watching out for snow. The possibility of some winter mix after midnight. Good news is no impact when it comes to winter weather, so none of it sticking, none of it going to really glaze over streets or any of our roadways in general. Taking a look though, we're blanketed by clouds going into the afternoon. The showers will move in from north to south. So think if you're in southern Kentucky, you start getting the rain middle of the morning. If you are in, say, the metro area, talking Nashville and then even on toward the east, rain moves in a little closer to lunchtime and then lingers into the second half of the afternoon. Finding the best days in the forecast. Got to talk about all the next weather makers, but also talk about the good things. Bus stop. We're bundled up, but you can leave the rain gear at home if you're south of I-40. If you're not, the chance for some rain as the kids are coming home, you may want to pack an umbrella that they don't need now, but could use a little bit later in the day. 7-day forecast. Breaking it down for you. 54 degrees today, 45 degrees tomorrow, and then upper 50s. Going into the weekend, we'll talk about Thursday, Friday, and your full weekend outlook in just a few minutes, Justin.
Steer clear traffic out there for you. Let's take a quick look here on the north side. This is 65 at I-24 up there. As you can see, traffic moving along very, very well. No big problems out there so far for you this morning. Of course, we continue to follow things out there. The potholes is the only thing that's really getting in your way right now. That's White Bridge Road at I-40 there on the west side. A couple of trucks sleeping on the side of the road. But so far, we are doing just fine.
This merely gives the judge the tools to deny bail.
In Operation Crime and Justice, some state lawmakers want to amend the Tennessee Constitution to give a judge more power to deny bond for people accused of serious crimes. Now, right now, first-degree murder is the only crime where a judge can refuse to set bail and order a suspect to be held in jail until the trial happens. The bill hasn't been filed as of yet, but it is coming. House Speaker Cameron Sexton says it's among its supporters that he is going to be putting this bill out there. He wants to include violent crimes like child rape and lesser murder charges to that particular list. He explains.
Let me give an example, a child rapist. Right now, you have to give them bail. There is no option. If you have someone who's committed 3 violent crimes, you have to give them bail. You have no option unless it's a capital offense.
State Representative John Ray Clements tells Fox 17 News that Democrats are willing to work with Republicans on this particular measure. Now, if passed, the amendment would appear on a statewide ballot in 2026, where voters would have the final say. So we want to hear from you. Should Tennessee change the state constitution to allow judges to refuse bail on more violent crimes? You can see the poll is up right now. Around 600 people have voted, and 86% have said yes to this. Another 13% have said no. If you want to make the case for yourself and vote, you can go over there to our Facebook, or excuse me, in this case, our Twitter/X page. You can find us at Fox Nashville, or you can scan that QR code right there in the corner of your screen. That will take you there as well. A Tennessee resident, one of the most recent recipients of the National Medal of Honor, has now died. The National Medal of Honor Museum announcing that Tennessee resident retired Captain Larry L. Taylor died at the age of 81 years old. The Vietnam veteran risked his life during the war by making a helicopter rescue of 4 soldiers who were surrounded by enemy forces. Taylor was awarded the Medal of Honor, which is the highest military award for valor in combat. This happened last September at the White House. You see him there with President Biden.
A new report says there is a cooling period in the rental market. In a few minutes, I'll tell you what that means for you.
And coming up a little bit later, we've got a team out there who says they may have found the plane belonging to Amelia Earhart. It crashed in the Pacific Ocean decades ago. We're going to tell you about the signs they say are offering a brand new direction in this long search.
Team coverage on local issues.
4:39 is the time. The rent skyrocketed in Nashville, causing frustration for many people. But now there's some good news to report. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar tells us about a new report showing rent prices dropping across the area. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning. I want to give you one of those reasons for that good news, and it's right behind me. Take a look at this building here on 12th Avenue South and Wedgwood Avenue. It's under construction. We've seen construction for apartment complexes like that pop up all over Nashville. That report by Rent Research says construction of new buildings like this contribute to the lower rent prices. The rental trend indicates that January this month marks the 4th consecutive month where prices dropped here in the South. The median rent is around $1,600, which they say is lower than Northeast and West prices. Tennessee was listed as one of the states with a more significant rent price drop than other states, such as Mississippi or Kansas. However, on the flip side, a new study from Harvard finds that although there is a cooling market period, income nationwide has only risen by 2% in comparison to around 20% of rent increase from pre-pandemic levels. Now, we are working to find out if there is more significant relief on the way for renters, and we're also looking to speak to some renters about this price drop. Reporting live in the Wedgwood, Houston neighborhood, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And Karen's got the big winter coat on out there, as you should, across the board. Here we are cold. We're tracking our next weather maker moving its way closer to us. Cold front off to the north and west, a line of showers attached to that. And we're in the upper 20s and low 30s right now. Afternoon won't be all that bad, but at least the next 3-4 hours on the colder side. This front going to slide through, and what it will do is bring with it the chance for a few scattered rain showers later this afternoon. Now, if you're in southern Kentucky, listen up closely. You have the chance to see a few raindrops a little bit earlier. This is Future Track at 8 a.m., beginning to get closer and closer to our northernmost counties. And now we see it scoot south the state line, splitting right along I-40 by about noon into 1 o'clock. These move away pretty quickly by late afternoon. Here's 6 p.m. already out toward the Cumberland Plateau. And then Plateau, listen up. Your turn now. We're going to get cold overnight again. That means that by tomorrow morning, we could be talking about a few flurries that happen overnight. Not really any impact when it comes to winter weather. Don't expect much of it to stick.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a quick look here at I-40 and Broadway over on the West Loop. As you can see, traffic is moving along very, very well over there. No big problems for you other than the occasional slowdown because of potholes that are still popping up, even though work crews are going to be out there later today trying to patch those up, and we'll continue to be out there over the next several weeks. So heads up on that, but so far we're doing just fine as you get out and about here on this Tuesday morning. Well, coming up, an investigation reveals that people in prison across the United States are now making the products that you eat every day. We got more on the working conditions some say are unfair and barely paid. And the United States government will now require AI companies to report their safety tests. The effects this could have on the technology companies as well as the public.
Alerts empowers protect.
4:44 is the time. How often do you think about the fact of trying to figure out exactly where your food really comes from? Well, the results of a brand new investigation are highlighting how many everyday foods can be linked back to prisoners. Fox News' Jackie Abanez takes a closer look.
While you probably know which stores your groceries come from,
You may be unaware that some of those items could be linked back to prison labor.
I feel like I had became a slave.
That's according to the results of a 2-year investigation by the Associated Press, which traced hundreds of millions of dollars worth of various crops and meats back to the hands of incarcerated Americans. Across the country, prisoners are working in fields, cattle farms, and more. They're harvesting materials and raising cows that the AP report found were later used to make things like Frosted Flakes, ballpark hot dogs, gold medal flour, Coca-Cola, and hamburgers, just to name a few. The AP says many of these products are sold at the likes of Target, Walmart, Kroger, Whole Foods, McDonald's, and more. Most prisoners are paid pennies, if given anything, and it's all legal.
The 13th Amendment prohibits slavery and involuntary servitude, except that there is a provision that allows for incarcerated people to be forced to work.
Some supporters say prison labor saves taxpayers money while giving inmates a chance to improve their lives behind bars. The AP says many companies listed in the report did not respond to questions. Whole Foods Market says it does not allow the use of prison labor in products sold at its stores. McDonald's said it would investigate the claims. While not all critics say prison jobs like these shouldn't exist, some are calling for inmates to be treated fairly and more humanely and say work should only be voluntary. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Thank you so much, Jackie. The investigation is still developing. Of course, we'll give you more as soon as we learn more. But we have an important prescription drug recall to pass along to you. Azuri Pharmaceuticals has recalled some of its ADHD and narcolepsy medicine. This is after a different drug ended up in the pill bottles instead. Now, the company says it has issued a recall after some of its ZZ tablets and antihistamine medicines have been mixed in with the packaging. Now, ZZ is a stimulant used to treat ADHD and narcolepsy, and the other medication is a sedative and has the opposite effect of the stimulant. That could cause some drowsiness and put patients at risk of getting into a major accident or hurting themselves. The company says that it has not received any reports of anyone being hurt because of the medicine mix-up. An exploration team says that it may have found new clues in the mysterious disappearance of Amelia Earhart. Now, the Deep Sea Vision says that it captured sonar images of what could be Amelia Earhart's aircraft resting at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. The South Carolina-based group scanned more than 5,200 square miles of ocean as a part of its research. Now, the group says it plans to return to the site and explore the area and get a better image. Amelia Earhart's plane disappeared over the Pacific Ocean back in 1937. The trip would have made her the very first woman pilot to circle the globe. Crews in California are now preparing for the intense rain that's expected to occur over the next few days. Several aerial footage, shows that workers are now placing a tarp over by Cliffside. That's at the Pacific Ocean. You can see some of the things happening there. Parts of this effort is to protect the existing area from landslides from becoming worse there. Some of the wet and wild weather in the region is forecasted to really get much worse coming up here over the next few days. Experts are expecting multiple rounds of rain starting tomorrow, with the rain totals exceeding 3 to 5 inches in certain areas of California. A lot of work to get ready for those rainstorms. Nothing like that here. We will have a few raindrops, but nothing like that.
No flooding, no 3 to 5 inches of rain, none of that. Just a couple of showers that track through during the day, and then they're out of here and we'll be dry for the rest of the week. So let's take a look at the big weather story that is more increase in cloud cover throughout this morning and toward the afternoon. Best shower chance for southern Kentucky is going to be mid to late morning into early afternoon. And then for everywhere south of the state line, we're talking late morning into early to mid-afternoon. That's the ballpark for us here. If you're trying to plan and get out the door, those are the times you have to not necessarily avoid, but have the Code Red weather app so you can pull up the radar, kind of check it before you head out. Flurries are possible overnight tonight. Cumberland Plateau, a couple of wintry mixed pockets could be out there from midnight through around 5 a.m. No winter impacts from it, nothing that's going to stick or cause any situations that should be too hard to handle in the morning. Finding the best days, Thursday and Friday by far. This morning, not perfect. Frost on some windshields, defrosting, maybe even scraping, but good to go overall. This is not one of those things where all of our roadways are going to be covered in a sheet of ice, just your windshield a little bit this morning. By lunchtime, temperatures climbing, upper 40s. By 11 o'clock, 52 degrees at noon, 53 degrees at 1 p.m. Good looking forecast for the afternoon after that cold start this morning. We'll call it a 54 degrees for this afternoon, 34 overnight tonight, and then 45. A little cooler for Wednesday, but that begins that dry period of Wednesday into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to start the weekend.
Thank you, Greg. Let's get to I-40 over at Spence Lane over on the east side. Traffic moving along there very nicely this morning. No big disturbances or slowdowns in either direction that could cause you problems out there this morning, just the way we like it. So if you got to get out and about, if you're the people who open up the buildings, when you get there, you're the first people who turn on the lights and make the coffee and all of that. You're good to go as you get to your place of business or school this morning. Well, this is your last chance to see the country's largest Chinese Lantern Festival. All you gotta do is scan the QR code right there, and then you can enter for your chance to receive 2 tickets to Zulumination, the Chinese Festival of Lights. You can also enter by going to our website, fox17.com/contest. The final weekend is February the 2nd through the 4th. That's this weekend over at the Nashville Zoo. Message and data rates do apply. So for complete contest details, you can go to our website, fox17.com/contest. Well, President Joe Biden's administration is now implementing brand new requirements for artificial intelligence developers. Now, the White House AI Council convened yesterday to review the president's executive order from October, which includes mandates such as requiring AI companies to report their safety test. Now, the council says the reports are to ensure brand new systems are safe before being released to the public. The executive order also calls for the National Institute of Standards and Technology to create a set of standards for companies to meet when assessing the safety. Well, coming up, skiers getting close, but not too close, to a moose on the loose out there on the slopes. We've got the story behind the video coming up in just a few. Plus, the United States government is finalizing rules for gas stove efficiency. We're going to tell you why. The stove type, we're going to tell you why the stove type could be in for a couple of surprises for you this morning. We'll be right back.
This Fox 17 this morning.
4:55 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. That's a live look there over Lower Broadway in downtown Nashville as looks like some of the workers are back out. Getting to work on some of the properties there on Lower Broadway. They're always trying to spruce things up for the tourists to come. It's not really peak tourist season right now in Nashville, but they'll be back. They'll be back coming up here in the spring for sure. Take a look at this. This moose comes out for a look around. This is at the Steamboat Ski Resort near Denver. Happened on Saturday. Now they are willing to give a very nice social media snap, but skiers are being reminded, listen, don't get too close to the moose. The Steamboat Ski Resort says that the moose and other wildlife visits are very common, and the ski patrol closes off for the detour ski trails when too many of the moose are around. So it's a rare sight to see them, but again, just give them some space to operate. It's good advice, very good advice. That's not Bullwinkle there. Let's get to Greg.
Let's take a look here. I mean, yeah, if you're skiing there, you are on the Moose's home turf. So just keep that in mind. Taking a look here. Weekend outlook split in half. One day warmer and dry. The other day a little bit rainier and also a little bit cooler. Taking a look here. Saturday, 62 degrees. Wake up in the 30s. Go to bed, you'll wake up the next morning right near 40. So the nighttime temperatures don't change much. It's the afternoons. Look at Sunday. Chance for some rain in the forecast. Not going to be heavy, but it will be steady and persistent at times. So keep that in mind. If you're trying to make outdoor plans for the weekend and you have the ability to pick and choose, kind of curate your own hours, I would go with Saturday as the best day to go for it. Now, you could always follow along on social media. I just posted on Twitter about the frost out there. You might have frosty windshields. Keep that in mind. Could slow you down just a little bit. You can also scan the QR code right there on your screen to get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. You can track later on this afternoon when we do have a few showers that are out there if you want to kind of try to head out and dodge those and pick those times when you know you're going to be on the dry side.
Steer clear traffic out there. Let's get you to I-24. This is close to Baker Road. This is in the Murfreesboro area. You can see traffic there moving along very nicely. No big problems out there so far this morning for you. North, south, east, or west. You're doing great as you get out and about. If something does change, we got you covered. We're here with you live through 9 on Fox 17 News this morning. Well, you can score big with the game trivia, the big game trivia right there on your phone. Just grab your phone, scan this QR code for your chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. Now, to register to play the big game trivia contest, you have to have some football knowledge, and it could help you out with a $100 prepaid debit card. Or you can have a chance to be entered for a $5,000 weekly prize. Again, for the best way to win, you can scan that QR code right there on your screen or go to the website, fox17.com, for your chance to win. Fox17.com/contest is the best way to try and get that win. Gas stove burners are not going away thanks to a brand new federal rule. Now, under the new standards completed yesterday by the Energy Department, gas stoves can keep their high-powered burners as well as the cast iron grates and other features that they've had for years. The department says that 97% of gas stoves already meet the new efficiency standards, though 23% of the smooth-top electric stoves fall short. So we'll see if changes are made there. An out-of-this-world discovery has been made as the Webb telescope has now discovered brand new galaxies out there on their lens. Now take a look here. These are newly released images, and they always are incredible by scientists there at NASA. They're working with another group there to they're called abbreviated FANGs, okay? They show 19 spiral galaxies near the Milky Way. Now, the new images are allowing scientists to see the structure of clouds of gas and dust that form the stars for the very first time. Spectacular. They look like paintings, but they're not. They're real. Our 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, TBI is investigating after 2 people were found dead in Ashland City. We're sharing the updates.
Middle Tennessee is working to rebuild after the December tornadoes ripped through our state. How Hendersonville is coming together.
And the forecast dry but really cold for right now. Tracking our next weather maker. It arrives today. Some get rain, some could see some snow flurries. We'll time it out for you.
And of course, we do want to thank you for waking up with us here bright and early on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news source. Always here for you through 9 a.m. And kicking off this Tuesday morning, here are the top 3 stories you'll want to know about before you head out the door. We begin with that attack against our U.S. troops in Jordan. The Pentagon now releasing their identities. In a drone strike believed to have been launched by an Iranian militia group, we now know that 46-year-old Sergeant William Rivers died, along with 24-year-old Specialist Kennedy Sanders and 23-year-old Specialist Brianna Moffitt. They are all from Georgia and all worked out of Fort Moore.
Alex Murdaugh will not get a new murder trial. This happening down in South Carolina. A judge rejecting an attempt for the disgraced ex-attorney to get a retrial after he was convicted of murdering his wife and son. Now, his attorneys claim the Gallatin County, South Carolina clerk improperly influenced the jury's decision. After hearing testimony from both the clerk and the jurors of the case, the judge not buying it.
And we have a Russian figure skater who's now been disqualified from the 2022 Winter Olympics for doping. Her name is Kamila Valieva. The Olympic International Committee has said that the U.S. figure skating team will receive gold medals for the team competition now because of this Russian skater's removal from the top spot.
Now to Operation Crime and Justice. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, TBI, has now opened a homicide investigation into the deaths of 2 people over in Ashland City.
All right, so the TBI telling us that the victims are 66-year-old Carl Schoenfeld and 33-year-old Terry Lee Anderson Jr., both of them shot to death Sunday. It happened on Chestnut Road. We are working to get more details. That's all the TBI is releasing right now, but just as soon as we get those updates, we'll bring them to you.
Taking a look at your forecast, no code red weather for today, but definitely a chance for a few rain showers that'll be moving in through southern Kentucky later on this morning and then tracking south of the state line as we go throughout early afternoon. We're all clear, though, as I mentioned, this is not going to be a major weather maker that moves through. Just one of those where morning bus stop, you don't need the umbrella, but afternoon bus stop, you might want to just have one just in case for the kids as they head out. 31 degrees, 6 a.m., 31 at 7. No real budging of the temperatures here this morning. We're upper 20s and low 30s across the board. Clouds will pick back up throughout the morning and eventually bring in that rain chance for us. Not a great one, but there it is. It will be late morning into early afternoon. And then overnight tonight, the possibility of a few flurries out over the Cumberland Plateau. So this is not going to be a big one, but it will come in 2 different varieties depending upon where you live. 54 degrees this afternoon, a little cooler tomorrow at 45. If you want the best days in the forecast, they're going to come right in a row, all 3. 57 on Thursday, 62 on Friday, 62 on Saturday.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. So you're clear traffic right now at 5:04. We're going to take a live look. I-40 at Church Street looking pretty good on the downtown loop this morning. I'm getting a real quick check of the TDOT system. No crashes reported right now, but we are going to be telling you throughout the course of the morning different spots where TDOT is doing significant road work right now. For example, they're going to be doing some paving work on I-24 up near Clarksville starting this morning. So we'll get you updated on those significant impacts to your commute in just a little bit.
We're also talking about what's happening in Hendersonville. It is set for tonight. They're throwing a benefit concert, okay? It's all about helping the community after the December tornadoes that really hit the city hard, impacting businesses and houses.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, the folks who now don't have jobs or a source of income. So let's check in with Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse joining us live just outside of the Premier Center in Hendersonville, where this is all going to go down tonight.
That's right, Erica and Jen. So the event starts here, doors open at 5:30. I know the musicians, they'll start performing around 6:30. And the city's Parks and Rec spokesperson tells us, yes, homes impacted, families impacted, businesses, hundreds of businesses destroyed, and also the city's parks destroyed as well. Now they're hoping to bring the community together for a good time and a good cause, and it's called Hendersonville Rising. There's tons of local artists performing. There'll be food, drinks, even a silent auction. Andy Gilley is the Hendersonville Parks and Recreation's director. He says the damages to the city's parks is more than $700,000.
The way city insurance works, they approve half a roof to be replaced, not a whole roof. So, you know, who's going to put a new roof on and put half a roof? We're going to have to pay for the other half. So things like that are going to be expenses that we'll have to incur.
Gilley says so far insurance is covering $200,000 worth of damages for the parks, and they have another $500,000 to go. Tickets are $55 a piece, and every single penny will go to help the Hendersonville community. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Coded station.
Are you a new renter? A report says that you could be paying less in rent this month. In a few minutes, I'll have the details on that.
This Fox 17 this morning.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It's 5:08, taking a look at our economy and some good news for renters who are trying to save some money. We got a brand new report out that shows for the fourth consecutive month now, the South is seeing a decline in rent prices.
All right, what does that mean for you? Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us to tell us why this comes with some pretty exciting details. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. A new report by Rent Research says that there are several reasons for the decline in rent prices. One of those is the construction of new apartment buildings and complexes like the one behind me here on Wedgwood Avenue and 12th Avenue South. You can say they're in the middle of building those apartments for tenants to eventually move into. It's the case of supply and demand. The more supply to match demand, the lower the prices will be. Another reason is that the fall and winter season is seeing less people trying to rent. The rental experts say rents have gone down to about $1,600 here in the South. It's good news for renters, but the report also says that rent is still not at pre-pandemic levels. Another study by Harvard shows that rent has increased from pre-pandemic levels to around 20%, while income has only risen 2% nationwide. Still, the report says that Tennessee has had a better price drop than other states like Mississippi. So that's the silver lining here. Renters are hoping that this trajectory continues, and we're still working on trying to talk to some renters, some of them that might be passing by these streets here, to try to get reaction on the rent price drop. Reporting live in the Wedgwood, Houston neighborhood, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
5:10 is the time. We're checking in with our Code Red meteorologist. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Tracking the next weather maker here. It's just off to our north and our west. You can see it already right here on the map. Cold front moving in, and it will actually knock down our temperatures a little bit. They're already cold to begin the morning. This afternoon, not bad, but prepare to walk out the door to upper 20s and low 30s. Before this moves in, we'll get up to the 50s, and then we'll track in some rain later on today. It's not going to be a big weather maker, and it's not going to last long. When the raindrops start, they'll only last a couple of hours at best. So here's the timing. They're going to move in from northwest to southeast, and then after we're done with today, nothing for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. We'll get 4 dry days in a row. So this is what we have to get through first. We're starting off relatively cloud-free, but by about 7, 8 o'clock, clouds pick back up. Right around sunrise, you'll begin to see them take over the sky. Here we are, 8 a.m. Southern Kentucky begins to get a few raindrops, and then that tracks in, begins to try to hold together as it moves into Middle Tennessee, going late morning into early afternoon. We're going to talk about what happens when the green from the plateau turns into blue. Overnight, snow potential. What we can see coming up in a few minutes. The next check of your Code Red forecast.
At 5:11, we are checking in for your Steer Clear traffic update to see what's happening over near the airport. Always a busy area, but right now, not seeing any kind of slowdowns. Actually, we're taking a live look at the sleeping trucks that are out there. This is I-40 White Bridge Road, and you can see 2 trucks over there on the right shoulder. No issues, nothing to be aware of right now. We'll continue updating you in your Steer Clear traffic updates throughout 9 a.m.
It is 5:12 right now, and as some lawmakers hammer out a possible bipartisan border deal, a lot of folks are unhappy with the option that's brewing on Capitol Hill. We'll take a deeper dive in that in minutes.
And road work is coming, trying to deal with both potholes and now bigger changes to our highways. Some spots that you're going to see crews out on this week.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Hope your Tuesday is off to a great start. It is January 30th. We are quickly approaching February. Man, I feel like that winter storm this month did a number on our calendars. I was joking last week. Everybody enjoying their January 45th?
It goes on and on.
It's been a long month, but we're approaching February and approaching 5:15 right now. Pretty start to the morning, just a little cooler, maybe some fog in some spots. Greg's going to tell us more about that in just a couple minutes.
And new this Tuesday morning, want to let you know that Metro Police say one man is facing charges after a woman was hit by a stray bullet while inside of her Lewis Street home.
This all happened back on January 5th. Police just giving us the details, saying that Brian Eubanks got into an argument with a man who had just given him a ride home. Officers say Eubanks started shooting as that truck was driving away, hitting the truck, plus that house where that woman was inside. We're told the woman's 5-year-old daughter was also in that house at the time. Eubanks taken into custody early this morning. He's now charged with aggravated assault.
Making headlines this morning, Tennessee has just joined a 27-state coalition writing to the Biden administration in support of Texas's approach to securing the border. A possible bipartisan deal on securing the border is taking shape in Washington.
Yeah, in fact, we were just telling you about Governor Lee's support of Governor Abbott last week. This morning, Fox News' Rich Edson with an update.
They are impeaching the secretary for failing to secure the border while he is negotiating legislation to secure the border. If that is not irony, I don't know what is.
House Democrats are ripping a GOP-led effort to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Republicans released the charges over the weekend and are planning initial consideration this week on the articles of impeachment. Republicans allege Mayorkas refused to comply with the law and accuse him of making false statements. All this as an influx of migrants continues to pass through the southern border.
I am proud to stand with Texas because this is not just a Texas problem, this is a national crisis.
At the current epicenter of the crisis, Eagle Pass, Texas, Republican Governor Greg Abbott is at a standoff with the federal government and is denying federal agents access to a border park. In Washington, the White House and a group of bipartisan lawmakers are negotiating to address this surge with new legislation taking shape on Capitol Hill.
75% of the American people, majority of the American people, want us to work on this issue.
If the Senate passes something with significant policy changes, I think we'll take a look at that.
Former President Donald Trump is pressing Republicans to oppose any border deal. Democrats accuse him of trying to tank an agreement to boost his general election chances. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox News.
Looking ahead right now, the deadline to ask for FEMA help after last month's tornadoes is approaching.
That deadline is February 12th. Homeowners or renters in Davidson and 6 other counties can use that money to go ahead and cover the temporary expenses like living expenses, home repairs, and other uninsured disaster-related expenses. By the way, so far, FEMA has awarded more than $3 million to 1,600 households impacted by the tornadoes.
We were just talking about how January has felt like a very long month. You think back to the December tornadoes and then the winter storm. We've been through a lot here in the last several weeks, Greg, weather-wise.
We really have. We've had 5 code red weather events just this month alone, and that was 17 days worth of code red weather. So we've turned into a better weather pattern, and we're going to keep it that way into the weekend. That does not mean we're going to be completely dry. There will be a shower or two, but compared to the flooding, the ice storms, the aggressive cold, the severe weather outbreaks we had last month, this really is a much better situation for a couple of days. Afternoon rain shower is going to move in for us here, but not going to move the arrow out of the all clear. This is not going to be severe weather or even heavy rainfall, and it's not rain for everyone. If you are south of I-40, and the more south we get away from I-40, the less your chance for rain is going to be later. However, we're all dealing with this. We're starting upper 20s to low 30s. Everyone waking up cold could have some frosty windshields this morning too. Keep that in mind. Here we are, future track, 8 a.m. This is when southern Kentucky begins to get the rain moving in. Goes south of the state line here, late morning, early afternoon. And then, I was talking about this a few minutes ago, we have a few showers that linger through 6 p.m. out in the Cumberland Plateau. Cold air rushes in behind that and then kicks up some specks of pink and blue. We could see a little wintry mix dotting the radar in the plateau overnight tonight into very early tomorrow morning. Not going to be a winter impact from it, not going to stick. And by the afternoon of tomorrow, we'll be back to some sunshine and end the week in a very nice way that we'll take a look at in your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, everyone, steer clear traffic for you. Let's check out near the airport. This is going to be I-40 at Donaldson Pike as you make that drive over there on the east side of town. No big problems over there. You are smooth sailing so far. If anything does pop up, we'll be sure to let you know. But the potholes, we'll be saying that a lot this morning because that is going to be your number one enemy so far out there on the road. Not the rain that Greg is talking about, even though it does have its own problems. But the potholes this morning, if you're not careful, can give you a very bad day. We're going to keep an eye on those and tell you about any problems that pop up.
Talking about potholes around the mid-state, Justin, thank you so much. We're talking about Tennessee's Department of Transportation that is working on so many projects around the state, and some of them could impact your commute. So listen up. This could impact your daily trip to work into school. Here are just some of TDOT's repair plans over the next couple of days right behind me here. And we're talking about crews that are going to be paving on I-24 in Montgomery County from mile markers 8 to 11. They're going to be out there from about 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then TDOT will also be widening Nolensville Pike from, I think, north of Mill Creek Bridge to Old Hickory Boulevard. That we understand here at Fox 17 News. That particular project is going to be happening from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it will involve temporary lane closures. For I-40 at Donaldson Pike near the airport, listen to this, crews are going to be remodeling the interchange from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Some lanes there are also going to be closed, and that airport spot always busy, so keep that in mind before heading out to the airport. Now, to report a pothole, take a look at your screen. You should also know the location, the route, mile marker, and nearby cross streets. All of that will then allow you to call TDOT Road Repair Hotline. The number is 833-TDOT-FIX, or go to the TDOT website or the Nashville DOT website. Don't worry, I know that's a lot. We have you covered, though. We have all the information, all the links that you do need to know on fox17.com.
5:21 is the time right now. The Wilson County Mayor has heard your complaints when it comes to the snow and the ice. And Justin McFarland will have that story and the mayor's message to critics in minutes.
We're putting our foot down to keep our feet.
5:24 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. So the snow and ice is all gone, but city leaders and county leaders are still trying to justify their actions from when the snow and ice was here. A lot of people had complaints about the fact that their street was not cleaned when that snow and ice fell. Randall Hutto is one of those people who heard an earful. He is the mayor of Wilson County. He got lots of questions about why certain things were open and why certain things were not. Well, the mayor says he has very limited resources when it comes to snow and ice removal, so limited that they all even have names that he can call out. Listen.
Then I get accused on the other side, well, Lebanon on Tuesday night had a city council meeting and they were open. Well, I go back, the cities are a little bit different than we are because they have public works. I don't have public works. I got Robert and his 4 guys and they do a great job, because when you think of all of the properties that we got along with Quentin and his crew, and we actually did a team effort on buying a Bobcat that we share with them that they use every day in the barns out there, and then when it comes bad weather, he brings it up here and scrapes our road, because Mr. Murphy really can't come off the roads to come scrape the courthouse, because and he knows that's his priority to be out there and not be with us. So we have lots of properties to try to take care of and get ready.
So the mayor says, I don't have public works. I've got him and his 4 guys, and this is all we got. He says he is grateful to those who did get out in the cold to try to make the roads a little bit safer.
5:25 your time. Thankfully, nothing happening where we're going to need any road crews out there in the foreseeable future. Taking a look, Doppler radar, nothing happening right here back home, but I want to flip this over to the national radar and give you a picture of what is coming in our direction. And this is going to slowly make its way closer and closer to Middle Tennessee. This is tracking, and it's not going to make its way anywhere into the area just yet, but we're pulling everything down from the northwest to the south and the east. This will arrive in our southern Kentucky areas in about the next 2 to 3 hours. So we'll begin to track it as it helps you get out the door here this morning, especially from 7 to 9. Taking a look, getting you out the door here on this January 30th. Cold temperatures, upper 20s and low 30s. We want winter coats, and you might need to use the defrost on your windshield before you actually get moving this morning. 31 at 6, 31 degrees at 7, 35 at 8. Mainly clear for right now, but clouds will take over later this morning, and then we'll continue to track that incoming weather maker.
Still clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get to it here at 526. Quick look here. This is going to be I-65 and Armory Drive there on the south side. You can see our traffic moving along very nicely there as you make that drive in from places like Brentwood and Franklin into the city. Nothing getting in your way so far, but that will soon change. Right now, drive time's comfortable. 24 minutes in from Hendersonville, 49 from Murfreesboro, 26 minutes in from Kingston Springs. We are watching it always live through 9.
Picking up the pieces after the December tornadoes hit Hendersonville hard. How the community is coming together next.
Score amazing deals and get ready for the big...
Good morning. Just about 5:30 right now on Fox 17 News this morning. We have a mid-state school that's been given another 10 years. The lengthy battle to keep the doors open.
Looking right now, a few pockets have some fog, cold start to the morning, but I'm tracking incoming rain by the end of the day when it makes its way to your neighborhood coming up in your forecast.
Clear traffic takes us to 65 at Fern Avenue there on the north side. Traffic moving along nicely, but things are going to change soon. We're going to tell you more about it coming up in just a few.
Okay, 5:30 is the time, and we do want to thank you for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get started with our top story this half hour, and it's in our local community of Hendersonville, where they're having a big benefit concert tonight to try to help that community rebuild after the December tornado hit their city hard.
Making a difference. Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse joining us live right outside of their Premier Center with much more. Hi there, Peyton.
Good morning, Erica and Jen. So doors open at 5:30 here at the Premier Center tonight, and the city's Parks and Rec spokesperson tells us that hundreds of businesses were impacted by the tornadoes. Families' homes destroyed, and even the city's parks also taking a hit from the tornadoes. And now they're hoping to bring the community together for a good time and for a good cause. It's called Hendersonville Rising. There's tons of local artists performing. There will be a silent auction, food and drinks. Andy Gilley is the Hendersonville Parks and Recreation Director. He says their parks face about $700,000 worth of damage, and insurance so far is covering about $200,000.
A tornado went right down Main Street in one of our busiest and most impactful business areas. You know, to have that many businesses impacted, it not only is bad for our local economy, but it's real bad for the people who worked there. So it could take a long time for Main Street to build back.
The city is hoping to raise money to help businesses get back on their feet after the tornado ripped through the city. Now, tickets are $55. You can get them online. You can head over to our website later today. We will have an article with the link to buy tickets, or you can get them at the door here, and every penny is going to help businesses and the city pick up the pieces after this tornado ripped through Hendersonville in December. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your coded station.
Peyton, thank you. 5:32 is the time. Greg, I did not remember to give myself extra time to defrost the windshield.
That's the thing that'll catch you off guard. It definitely will, yeah. Pulling into the parking lot earlier, I was like, ooh, yep, all of our cars kind of have the same situation. Driving around today is going to slow you down a little bit for those first few minutes. So yes, defrost. Make sure you give yourself that extra little bit of time. It's not going to be a problem when it comes to roadways themselves. They're not going to be icy, but your car could take a little while to warm up for this one. Taking a look, by the afternoon, we'll go from upper 20s and low 30s to the upper 40s and low 50s. Warmer for lunchtime. Now, this is only going to be the case for a few hours. Once we get past around noon, Nashville area itself works into a couple of showers that will be on the radar. Right side of your screen, those current temperatures are pretty chilly, and we're going to stay cold at night for a few more nights. But take a look what happens. We have some good days by the end of the week. 57 on Thursday, 62 degrees on Friday. Once we go through a few showers later today, which we will track on Future Track in about 5 minutes from right now, we have no rain in the forecast for the rest of this week into the beginning of the weekend.
Clear traffic for you. 65 at Fern Avenue at that overpass down there. You can see traffic is moving very well in and around that North Nashville area, very close to Trinity Lane. That's right up there. This is Brick Church Pike that runs right along the Fern Avenue overpass there. So we're doing great. No big slow ups or tie ups, at least not right now. But that, of course, is subject to change coming up in the next few minutes as more and more people wake up and get out on the roads. This is 24, very close to the Tanger outlets out there along I-24. Nice drive ahead of you if you're coming in from Antioch. Nice drive right now. But again, things will change coming up in just a few.
Justin, thank you. Crisis in the classroom right now. The state of Tennessee is giving rocket ship Nashville Northeast Charter School a new chance. Basically, the state had come in and said yes after the Metro School Board voted to shut them down.
Yeah, so Metro School Board denied rocket ship's renewal application back in November, but The charter school then appealed this decision to the commission. Well, the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission voted unanimously on Friday to go ahead and renew the agreement for Rocket Ship Nashville Northeast Elementary School. Back in November, Metro voted 8-1 to close the school during a meeting.
Yeah, Sharika Roby Grant, the director of charter schools at Metro Nashville Public Schools, because mind you, charter schools do fall under Metro Nashville Public Schools, argues that there is an alarming absentee rate at Rocket Ship and that they don't have a strong teacher retention. But Will Hill with Rocket Ship says there is clear evidence their model is working.
We believe the MNP as a Board of Education made a reckless decision.
The data shows that Rocket Ship did not show significant growth, significant progress toward the goals outlined in the charter agreement.
Mr. Hill says that Rocket Ship has consistently been one of the highest performing schools in the area. Now the commission decided that Rocket Ship will be open, as we mentioned, for the next 10 years.
We're also talking about politics this Tuesday because Tennessee joined 26 other states in a letter to the Biden administration supporting Texas's border defense. This does come after Texas Governor Greg Abbott pushed back against federal lawmakers last week and then added more wire to that border fence.
Yeah, the feds had come in and said that they had to take it down. Not only did they not take it down, they added more. According to a release from Attorney General Jonathan Scrimetti's office here in Tennessee, a federal district court found that Texas's border defense wires reduced illegal border crossing by more than 2/3. AG Scrimetti's office says the states are demanding that the administration either enforce the laws that secure the southern border or allow the states like Texas to stop the invasion themselves.
5:36 is the time. Fox 17 News showing you a live look over on Lower Broadway where there's always something going on. You can see the flashing lights, crews getting it started pretty early out there. We're going to show your full forecast, including some rain chances this evening after the break.
We track severe weather, showing how storm. 5:39, taking a look here. Our next weather maker is going to be a batch of incoming rain, not thunderstorms, but definitely a couple of showers that will be out there for us. So we'll take a look right now at Future Track and see when it's going to arrive from north to south. No visibility problems, but yes, some frosty windshields to wake up to. We're cold. Right side of your screen, current temps, upper 20s and low 30s. First batch of rain moves in. Here's 8 a.m. on Future Track, moving into portions of southern Kentucky. Light green, showing us light rainfall, so it's not all that bad, but definitely will be a little bit of a nuisance if you're not keeping track of the radar. Here's 1 p.m. and then 1 p.m. taking us into 6 o'clock. So it's going to move in from northwest to southeast. The more south you live, away from I-40, the less of a chance for rain you're going to have today. However, overnight tonight, if you're in the Cumberland Plateau, you may be asleep and sleep through the entire thing, but there will be a few flurries that are possible in pockets of our upper elevations. Not going to give us any problems, not going to wake up to winter wonderland. We're not canceling school. We're just going to have a few flurries overnight and then a cold start in the 30s for tomorrow.
Steer clear traffic for you. Let's get out to I-40, 46th Avenue. Should make that drive in from the west side. And as you can see, traffic is there and it is moving with no great difficulty. Please watch out for spots around the city with potholes. And there's plenty of them out there for certain where you can run into trouble. But so far, we have not seen any big problems here so far this morning. Crews will be out and about working to make sure that we get everything cleared up. This is 24 near Shelby Avenue in the heart of downtown. Also looking good on that drive there.
Justin, thank you. Happening right now in our community, the Animal Rescue Corps, that's a local rescue organization based right here in Nashville. They just pulled in 46 little chihuahuas from a commercial breeder in Missouri in a rescue mission they called Operation Out of the Box. Wait until you see this video.
Yeah, and listen to some of the conditions they had to deal with. The pups are now in the care of ARC over at their rescue center in Gallatin. Team members there reported seeing chihuahuas running loose in a yard that was surrounded by electrical cords just dangling from fences and bushes. Imagine that.
Well, and these dogs are so tiny.
Right. ARC says they found adult dogs and also puppies in hutches, which were infested with wasps and spiders.
We understand that each hutch, as they're calling it, in other words, like a little cave, just had one heat lamp to try to keep them warm. And think about the temperatures that we have seen over the last several weeks, down to 0. More than 24 dogs, including, as Erica mentioned, litters of puppies, were also running loose in a home that was on the property, according to ARC. So the little chihuahuas that you see here, all of them are getting medical, physical, and social care at the ARC Rescue Center before each one of them will then be matched up and transported to partners in adoption centers nationwide.
All right, so a good ending to that.
Of course, here at home, too. By the way, if you want to read more about it or find out about ARC, maybe you'd like to bring one of these little babies home, just head to fox17.com. We got the story there for you.
Are you looking for a place to rent? A new report says that rent prices in the South have dropped. In a few minutes, I'll have more details on that and why the rent prices have dropped.
The U.S. is weighing its options after 3 soldiers were killed by a drone strike in Jordan. Officials say they will strike back but don't want a full-on war with Iran. I'm Connor Hansen in New York. I've got the details coming up.
Fox Wednesday.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News. We have seen prices skyrocket here in Nashville for more than what seems like half a decade. And now a new report by Rent Research says this month does mark 4 consecutive months that we have seen rent prices drop.
Hey, listen, anywhere you can save a little bit of money is going to be good news these days. And this morning we are talking about rent in the mid-state. So Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live to tell us about how much it's dropped and the why behind it. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Eric and Jen. This is very good news for renters, especially with inflation and what we've seen in the past. I mean, one of the reasons for the rent price drop is right behind me. It's construction of several buildings and apartment complexes. This building behind me on Wedgwood and 12th Avenue South, according to the apartment complex's website, says a 1-bedroom here is running for about $1,600. $1,600 is a price that the report says medium rent prices have dropped to, different from what my photographer Kevin says we saw in 2022. On the flip side, how much of a difference is this making? A new study by Harvard says although we are seeing a cooling period in the rental market income nationwide, the rental market income nationwide remains hardly unchanged by only a 2% increase in comparison to a 20% increase in rent from pre-pandemic levels. So the question is, will the rent price drop continue its trajectory? Well, I've reached out to the team at Rent Research to ask just that question. How much of a difference are these 4 consecutive months making for renters? We don't have that answer right now. It's early, but when we do, we'll update you. Reporting live in the Wedgwood, Houston neighborhood, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. By the way, this is your last chance to see the country's largest Chinese Lantern Festival. Scan this QR code that's right up on your screen, making it easy, or go to fox17.com/contest to enter for a chance to receive 2 tickets to Zoolumination Chinese Festival of Lights over at the zoo. The final weekend is February 2nd through the 4th. Again, at the Nashville Zoo. By the way, message and data rates may apply. For complete contest details, go to fox17.com/contest.
Well, it looks like the weather is going to clear up just in time for you to get outside this weekend and head to the zoo or whatever else you might have on tap.
Any plan. I mean, the only time frame we have to watch out for in Middle Tennessee is right in the middle of the afternoon today, and we're done.
We're going to start to clear out.
Done. Wednesday through Saturday, every day going to be dry, and even bring in some sun, for Thursday and Friday. So start making your plans right now, and I'm going to plan you through the rest of today because there will be a little bit of rain that does track in. This is a new update here, the future track for you this morning, and it hasn't really changed timing that much compared to the last few looks at it we've taken, but this is what we're seeing. Late morning, we'll begin to work into some rain that starts in southern Kentucky and then makes its way through the state line into Middle Tennessee. Very hit and miss. It's not rain for everyone this time around, but it will move in. And this is the difference. This is the update. It looks to break up even more than previously of what we were previously seeing. So keep that in mind. Then cold air moves in after it. Look at the Cumberland Plateau. Going to start off with a few rain showers that work us through the early stages of the overnight. Then cold air moves in, pinks and blues, and winter mix. That's the name of the game. Not going to stick. We're not canceling businesses, not calling off schools. Just know that overnight while you're asleep, there could be a little bit of wintry mix that lingers into the first hour or two of tomorrow morning. And then we do get all the good stuff. Taking a look. 54 degrees today, only 45 tomorrow, but 57 on Thursday, and low 60s on Friday and Saturday.
Steer clear traffic as you get out there this morning. Let's take a look here at I-24 at Waldron Road. As you make that drive in from Laverne out there this morning, we are doing okay so far. Now, things are going to get crowded out there. They really are. Traffic is going to start to build in, and more people are going to get out there on the road, slowing things down. But right now, right this second, if you're leaving the house, if you're grabbing your keys to head to the door, you're doing okay. Looks like we've got a little bit of a slowdown here at the exit here for Waldron Road. Not sure what that's about, but we're going to check into that coming up here in the next few minutes and tell you what we find.
Justin, thank you. Just about 5:50 right now. Making national headlines, the U.S. vowing to retaliate after 3 American soldiers are killed in Jordan in a drone strike by Iran-backed groups.
But some worry about creating a larger conflict in the already volatile region. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the details. Have a listen.
The Pentagon released the names of the 3 U.S. soldiers killed by a drone strike at a remote base in Jordan. Sergeant William Rivers, Specialist Kennedy Sanders, and Specialist Brianna Moffitt were all from Georgia. President Biden in the Situation Room discussing possible next steps with his national security team. The U.S. is blaming an Iranian-backed militia for the strike.
From the outset, we've been very clear in warning that anyone looking to take advantage of conflict in the Middle East and try to expand it, don't do it.
The Biden administration added that it does not want to start a war with Iran. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin back at the Pentagon after surgery, meeting with NATO's Secretary General.
The President and I will not tolerate attack on U.S. forces, and we will take all necessary actions to defend the U.S. and our troops.
There have now been at least 165 attacks on U.S. forces in the region. Some have been quick to criticize the administration's strategy.
It's pretty clear that the Biden administration's policies have resulted in a huge conflagration. I hear people talking about whether we're going to end up at war with Iran. I can assure you the Iranians are at war with the United States today.
The problem here is that this administration has not been responding. Eventually, those that you're shooting down their missiles will find ways around your systems.
A U.S. official told Fox News that enemy drone wasn't shot down because it might have been mistaken for a U.S. drone returning to base. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Connor, thank you. We're going to take another live look out there, show you the Nashville, Lower Broadway area. And keep in mind, we're going to have some showers today, but sunshine and 60s are in the forecast. More after the break.
Now at Hardin.
Steer clear traffic, we need to make you aware about something that's going on I-24. This is at Joe B. Jackson. For the last few moments, both sides of I-24 have been shut down. In the last few seconds, I mean literally in the last few seconds, they have just reopened parts of I-24, although I'm unsure, to be honest with you, in which direction that is yet. I'm trying to get my bearings. We do know the crash is in the westbound lane, so this is going to be I-24 going west. That is in to Nashville, into Murfreesboro, into Smyrna, into Laverne. That is the area that is going to be shut down here. It looks like maybe the eastbound lanes have just reopened. That would be going out of town. All they have told us right now is this is a multi-vehicle accident that you can see has blocked off part of the lanes there on I-24 Joe B. Jackson. Again, this is just south of the city of Murfreesboro. So with this in mind, the traffic backup is going to run for several miles. What do you want to do about it? That is the big question here. Well, there's 2 things you can do is, again, you're going to look at this backup that's going to run for several miles here, and they're letting cars by on the shoulder. So no lanes, just a shoulder that is open. Here is what it looks like on our maps here as you make that drive in. Yeah, it's going to be tied up here in both directions for a little bit. Highway 41 is going to be your best friend to get in from Murfreesboro if you're coming down. 231, also a good way to make your way in. Again, this is just south of Murfreesboro around Joe B. Jackson, so it's going to be shut down. Near exit 81, we're going to continue to follow it and give you the best details we've got.
Department so far this morning, we're waking up with temperatures that are in the upper 20s to low 30s and taking a look at a forecast that will continue to get warmer throughout the day. We're bundling up. We're going to have frost on windshields. Keep all those things in mind to kick off your Tuesday. And then that rain that I've been talking about all morning long does begin to move in the next couple of hours, starting from the northwest and then pulling into Middle Tennessee late morning into early afternoon. So again, from the very cold start, to the potential for some rain later today. What does this 29-degree temperature go to? Well, by about lunchtime, we'll move things back up to 48 degrees and then low 50s later this afternoon. Now, not just the rain that we have to contend with, but also the possibility of a few snow flurries. Who has the best chance and the full timeline on that as we go into our 6 o'clock half hour in just about 4 minutes from right now.
Greg, thank you. Hey, you want to win some extra cash? We can help you do that with the Big Game Trivia Contest happening right now on Fox 17 News this morning. You can grab your smartphone, hold it up to that QR code right there to register to play the Big Game Trivia Contest. Basically, what you're doing here is you're putting your football knowledge to the test. And if you've got a lot of it, you could win a daily $100 Visa gift card or a chance to win the $5,000 weekly grand prize.
And talking about sports and looking ahead to next month, that's when the Nashville Predators are going to be wearing a special new jersey designed by a Tennessee State University professor. The jerseys are in honor of Black History Month. TSU professor Kalini Sales designed this particular logo, so it's on your screen. She says this design offers a duality that bridges historical and contemporary Black culture. This is the second year the Predators have chosen a TSU professor to go ahead and design cultural jerseys and t-shirts to honor Black History Month. They do debut on the ice Wednesday. You can check it out, and later you can be signed up, or they're going to be signed up, I should say, and put up for auction. Interesting.
Might take a small fortune if you're trying to go to the Super Bowl this year. My 13-year-old daughter said to me yesterday, Mom, can we go to the Super Bowl?
Okay, you got the cash?
You know why, though.
Of course, Taylor.
She wants to see Taylor Swift. Have you heard your teenagers asking the same question? But let's take a look at the tickets for this year's Super Bowl. Online marketplace TickPick reports that the average ticket for the Super Bowl is about $9,800. That's almost 10 grand.
That's a whole lot more than sitting on the couch.
Yeah, and that, by the way, would make it the most expensive Super Bowl ever.
Is that part of the...
That's just getting into the game.
No food?
No flight, no hotel, no gas money.
I can't do it.
It's a lot. Think about what we could do with that.
A whole lot of money. We could do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to sit at home and watch it there.
By the way, the ticket site also says that the Super Bowl's location of Las Vegas is contributing to the high prices. So one more thing to think about. If you're going to Vegas to gamble, I mean, how much are you going to lose or waste or spend if you're a gambler?
It's adding up quickly.
I'm thinking college tuition is what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Well, let's take a look at the
airlines.
The airlines that are offering flights to give a subtle nod to Taylor Swift.
Really?
And her boyfriend, Kansas City Chiefs player Travis Kelce.
Oh my gosh. Okay, airlines have been adding flights to their schedules to cater to fans looking to travel to Vegas for the Super Bowl. Fans noticing, though, that flight numbers are more specific than usual. Okay, flight 1989, that refers to Swift's birth year. I really can't believe this.
Oh, really?
2287 refers to Swift's song, and then Kelce's jersey number.
Flight 1587 represents Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes' jersey number in combination with Kelce. So Mahomes being 15, Kelce being 87.
We're going over the top here. Stick with us. 6 o'clock hour starts right now.
Really?
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, 3 American soldiers killed in a drone attack in Jordan. Their identities being revealed.
Middle Tennessee is still working to rebuild some cities after the tornadoes ripped through our state. How Hendersonville is coming together as a community next.
Forecast dry right now, but definitely frosty windshields. I'm tracking rain going into the afternoon and snowflakes for some. Who has the best chance in your forecast?
Steer clear traffic, I-24 at Joe B. Jackson Parkway. Major crash that has got the interstate shut down and traffic backed up for miles. I'm going to tell you the best way to steer clear.
Yeah, Justin's going to be working on that detour. We'll join him in minutes. Right now, though, thanks for starting your day with us on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover.
This merely gives the judge the tools to deny bail.
In Operation Crime and Justice, we have some state lawmakers in Tennessee who want to amend our Constitution to give judges more power to deny bond for people who are accused of serious crimes.
Now keep in mind, right now, first-degree murder is the only crime where a judge can refuse to set bail and order a suspect held in jail until trial.
Now, this story gaining traction recently, especially with the number of criminals who have been let go and then recommitted similar or even worse offenses. This hasn't been filed just yet, but we understand it is coming. House Speaker Cameron Sexton among the supporters. He wants to include violent offenses for which bond could be denied, such as the rape of a child and even lesser murder charges. He wants those added to the list.
Let me give an example, a child rapist. Right now, you have to give them bail. There is no option. If you have someone who's committed 3 violent crimes, you have to give them bail. You have no option unless it's a capital offense.
State Representative John Ray Clemens, who you just heard from there, telling Fox 17 News Democrats are willing to work with Republicans on this measure. If passed, the amendment would appear on a statewide ballot in 2026. That's where voters would have the final say.
And we want to hear from you on this topic. We have a live poll right now over on our Twitter page asking, do you think Tennessee should change the state constitution to allow judges to refuse bail on more violent crimes? And an overwhelming 86% of you right now say yes, you do think our state constitution should be changed to reflect that. This is live and open right now, 625 votes. You can add yours by scanning the QR code right there on your screen.
Making national headlines, the Defense Department has released photos of the 3 United States service members who were killed in the drone attack on a U.S. military outpost in Jordan. This happened on Sunday.
All right, so the soldiers have been identified as 23-year-old Specialist Brianna Moffitt, 46-year-old Sergeant William Rivers, and 24-year-old Specialist Kennedy Sanders. You can see all of their pictures right here. All 3 of them assigned to the 718th Engineer Company. That's an Army Reserve unit based out of Fort Moore, Georgia. More than 40 other service members injured in that same attack. And the Defense Department now says the number could still go up. We also understand the drone hit the barracks where service members were still sleeping in the early morning hours.
Crews say it was approaching the outpost around the same time an American drone was returning to the base, and that led to uncertainty over whether it was hostile and delayed the U.S. response. We do have much more about this particular incident over on fox17.com.
Right now, breaking news and steer clear traffic. We want to get straight to Justin McFarland to help you steer clear of a situation that's popped up on I-24.
Okay, so let's take you there. This is going to be I-24 at Joe B. Jackson, everybody, and traffic is at a standstill if you're going westbound. So going into the city of Murfreesboro, not because you even haven't gotten to Murfreesboro at this point yet. This is just south of the city of Murfreesboro. If you're coming in from Beech Grove and Christiana, places like that, we're talking to you. Manchester, good morning. We're talking to you. It's at a standstill here, and the backup is going to run back for several miles. This is going into town. If you're coming out of town, there's still a slowdown, even though the shoulder is open. It's helping just a little bit, but not much. Let me show it to you here on our maps here. Here's the city of Murfreesboro. Just south of it here along Joe B. Jackson is where the crash is, and the slowdown in both directions, and the backup goes back for a little bit. The best way to steer clear, Shelbyville Highway, Highway 231 on that side, and then Manchester Pike, also looking good. Highway 41, either one would be better than tangling with I-24 right now because it is a rough go. This is 24 Elam back behind it. This is around 3 miles from where the accident is. You can see the traffic is crawling.
6:05 here, whether or not the issue this morning when it comes to whatever's going on. We're talking about a forecast of clouds and cold this morning, and we're going to work our way into a few showers later this morning into the afternoon, starting in southern Kentucky, and then we'll be done for the rest of this week. Let's find the best days in the forecast right now, and we'll piece it all together coming up in about 5 minutes. Just know that today, we're starting off in the upper 20s and low 30s, 54 degrees this afternoon. Best timing for rain in the Nashville area, late morning into middle of the afternoon.
Greg, thank you. 6:06 right now, and in your community, we go to Sumner County, Hendersonville to be exact, where a big benefit concert is happening tonight. They're trying to raise money to help that community just devastated after the December tornado.
Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse is joining us live right outside of the Premier Center with so much more. Good morning, Peyton.
Good morning, Erica and Jen. So starting at 5:30, the doors will open here at the Premier Center, and the event starts at 6:30. They've got tons of artists that are performing. There's going to be food. There's going to be also a silent auction. But the city's Parks and Rec director tells us that the businesses that were impacted, there's hundreds of them by the tornado, along with families whose homes were destroyed, and parks, city parks, also taking a massive hit from the tornadoes that hit in December. Now they're hoping to bring the community together for a good time and for a good cause, and it's called Hendersonville Rising. Again, there's going to be a lot of local artists performing, food and drinks, and Andy Gilley is the Hendersonville Parks and Recreation Director. He says the damages to the city's parks is significant.
We have right now over $700,000 in damages in our local parks. One of the most damaged areas was the Hendersonville High School baseball field. So we're trying, some of that will be covered by insurance, some of it won't.
Now, Gilley says so far insurance is covering $200,000 worth of damage, and they have about another $500,000 or so to go. And the city is hoping to raise money to help everyone impacted. You can buy tickets online. If you go to our website later today, we'll have the link to the event. And also, you can buy them at the door here tonight. Reporting in Hendersonville, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your crowded station.
Thank you, Peyton. Continuing coverage this morning of the winter storms we experienced earlier this month. The Wilson County Mayor has heard your complaints when it comes to what happened during all that snow and ice that we got and why certain things weren't open during the storm.
Fox 17 News Code Red.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. The snow and ice is gone, but the city and county leaders are still trying to justify their actions from when the snow and ice was here. Randall Hutto is one of those people who are trying to calm people down after the snow and ice came through. He's the mayor of Wilson County. He's gotten a lot of questions about why certain things were open and certain things were not during the snow and ice storm. Now, the mayor says his resources are very, very limited, and he's hoping everyone will try to understand it's not about lack of caring, it's about lack of resources, trying to make sure that everyone is covered.
We get accused of, well, you don't care about our employees. I do care about our employees. If I don't shut it down, because our rule is to get the place secure so people can get in and get out safely. If I waited for every bit of the county to be where every employee could get out on the road safe and come, we wouldn't open up until Mother Nature took over.
The mayor says he is grateful to all of the workers who did brave the cold to go out there and try to make the roads a little safer. Well, speaking of safer, we are not dealing with a safe situation right now on I-24 near Joe B. Jackson Parkway. This is down in the Rutherford County area. That is where we have got traffic at a standstill after a crash that happened. We are getting some brand new information in from our local authorities. They tell us that this was a multi-car crash here that was affecting both lanes of 24 going westbound, that's into town, and eastbound coming out of town on this side. They tell us that the Tennessee Highway Patrol, as well as the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, are going to be the lead investigators on this particular crash. They have not said exactly how much longer this area is going to be tied up. Let me show it to you here on the map quickly. This is where that drive is going to tie you up, just south of the city of Murfreesboro. Highway 41 and Highway 231 are going to be the best ways to steer clear, because right now 24 south of Murfreesboro is at a standstill.
And taking a look here top of the radar, nothing happening, but we're in the upper 20s and low 30s, cold start. And I am tracking a weather maker off to our north and west, not too far away from southern Kentucky. When it gets here and how long, we'll be seeing those drops falling coming up in a few minutes.
Good news, rent is continuing to drop here in the South, as according to a new report. In a few minutes, I'll have more details on that.
Steer clear traffic at 6:14. Here's a quick look at what we're following out there on I-24 at Joe B. Jackson. As you make that drive into town, Joe B. Jackson Parkway, traffic on I-24 West at a complete standstill right now because of a crash that involves multiple cars and is tying up lanes on 24 West going into town and 24 East coming out of town. And when I say town, I don't mean Nashville, I mean Murfreesboro, because this is before you even get to the city of Murfreesboro. You can see Murfreesboro right up there. This crash is happening right before you get to one of the main exits there near Joe B. Jackson Parkway. So heads up as the traffic is trailing back for several miles now. Let me show you the best ways to steer clear. Manchester Pike right here. That's Highway 41. Also Shelbyville Highway. That's Highway 231. Both of those are going to be the best ways to steer clear as the backup here is going to last for several miles. As a matter of fact, let me show you back behind it. This is going to be 24 at Elam. This is 3 miles away from where the crash is. You can see the traffic backed all the way up and around the corner here as the sun starts to come up. We're going to get a much better idea of what we're dealing with. But for right now, my best suggestion for you is sticking to the highways 41 and 231. And let me give you this heads up right now. The green and the yellow that we see here is going to quickly turn to red as the word starts to spread about the accident on 24. And pretty soon, these detours, both of them, are going to be tied up as well.
6:16 starting off here with just a look outside, and we have a couple of clouds that are already beginning to build into the forecast. We're cold, upper 20s to right near 30 if you parked outside. The sun doesn't come up for about 35 minutes from right now. That means that your windshields could be covered in some frost. Keep that in mind. It might slow you down a few minutes while you try to get that window defrosted. Taking a look here, this is the future track that I was mentioning a few moments ago, and the rain moving into southern Kentucky in the coming hours from now. By the time we get to around 8 o'clock, I do believe that the rain starts to trickle into southern Kentucky and then continue to move into Middle Tennessee. This is late morning, 11 a.m. Going into 1 o'clock, kind of breaking up as it moves more toward the south and the east, and then the Cumberland Plateau. It's one little swing of some rain, much colder air, and then overnight, we talk about the possibility of flurries. Overnight in the Cumberland Plateau, a little wintry mix and some flurry action will be there. That will end very early in the morning tomorrow. No winter impact expected from anything that comes down that is not regular liquid.
Okay, Greg, thank you. 6:17 and new this morning, after about 5 years of constant rent increases in the Nashville area, there's a brand new report out this morning that shows rent prices are falling off.
And that sounds promising, right? Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us now to tell us what kind of relief renters are going to be seeing. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning. I want you to imagine walking into an apartment complex like the one behind me, going into the leasing office and getting your keys, feeling excited. Well, that excitement soon turned to frustration for a lot of Nashvillians during the pandemic as they realized, some of them, that they couldn't pay their rent. Well, now that's a different story, according to a new report by Rent Research that says that rent prices have dropped consecutively for the last 4 months. Now, the median price rent, they say, is around $1,600 now, and that is lower than places in the Northeast and the West. Tennessee also ranks as a state whose prices have dropped lower than other states like, say, Mississippi or Kansas. Now, we are working to find out from the team at Rent Research if there will be more significant rent relief on the way. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Breaking news this morning, Toyota and General Motors are issuing a recall for about 61,000 vehicles for impacted airbags. Here's what you need to know. The automaker says that owners of older Corolla, Matrix, RAV4, and Pontiac models should stop driving them because of the Takata airbag inflators. In a statement, Toyota leaders said if the airbag deploys, it could release sharp metal fragments. That's not good. It could also seriously hurt, of course, the drivers or passengers. The recall does include model years 2003 through 2005. Also, 2009. Since 2009, rather, at least 26 people have been killed in the U.S. by Takata inflators.
Erica, thank you. 6:19 right now, and want to get you updated on a story that's been unfolding overnight. Just down the road in Huntsville, Alabama, a Greyhound bus crash. Let's get you the details here. A spokesperson for Greyhound says they are still investigating this morning and haven't been able to give us too many details, but we understand the crash was on Highway 53 down there in Huntsville, and it did prompt several agencies to respond. Still working to find out how many people might have been on board that Greyhound bus and where it was headed, even where it originated. So as soon as we get those details, we'll bring them to you live through 9 a.m. And with so many potholes that have popped up around the midstate, and let's be honest, some of these things are almost a foot deep. The Department of Transportation is working on a lot of projects around our area, and some of this work could impact your commute. So yes, it would be awful to hit these craters. And yes, it might be kind of frustrating to sit in the backups while they pave them, but better to get the work done. So here are some of today's TDOT plans to get the roads fixed. Crews are going to be paving on I-24 in Montgomery County. All right, so we're talking to you if you're up in Clarksville. They're going to be paving from mile markers 8 to 11. They will be out there starting at 8 o'clock this morning and going through 3 this afternoon. They're trying to do it later in the morning commute and then wrap up before the evening commute. TDOT also going to be widening Nolensville Pike. This is going to be from north of Mill Creek to Old Hickory Boulevard, and that's going to happen starting at 9 a.m. and going to 3 p.m. This one, again, along Nolensville Pike, will involve some temporary road closures. We've also got work going on I-40 at Donaldson Pike, right over near the airport. That work has been going on for some time, and crews are remodeling that entire interchange at I-40 at Donaldson, also from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m., and some lanes will be closed while they do that work. If you'd like to report issues where you are, especially with regards to the potholes, you need to know the specific location. So in other words, if you can get a mile marker, some nearby cross streets, you can call TDOT's road repair hotline. That number is right up here on your screen. If you don't have time to write it down and you want to take a picture, you can screenshot it. It's 833 T.Fix. Okay, that's going to be the number to call if you have a pothole of concern. You can also go to their website, either TDOT's or NDOT's websites, and we've got them linked for you right now at fox17.com.
Steer clear traffic. Want to give you an update, if we can, on I-24 Joe B. Jackson. Just received word from the Tennessee Highway Patrol that unfortunately this crash is fatal. One person at least has died. We're going to have the very latest on the best ways to steer clear and how much longer this could be with us when we come back. .25 is the time. I want to give you an update about what's happening on I-24. This is at Joe B. Jackson. We have just received word from the Tennessee Highway Patrol that unfortunately this crash is a fatal one. They're going to be out there investigating for some time, and that would include a large closure here at I-24 as you head westbound into Nashville. Those are the inbound lanes there going towards Murfreesboro, towards Nashville. If you're coming out of areas like Manchester and Beech Grove, authorities are going to be there for a little bit, taking a look at exactly what happened. I would imagine they would need to find something to do with all of this traffic that tails back behind it, because some of these fatal investigations can take a while as they take a close look at all that's seen down there. So here is where that crash is. This is the city of Murfreesboro. It's just south of the city. Here is Manchester Pike, and as I predicted, here comes the red. This was all green a few moments ago. Now it's red, and Shelbyville Highway is going to do the same here as people try to find a way around that I-24 backup.
Justin, thank you very much. 6:26 is the time right now. Let's get you your bus stop forecast before you head out the door with the kiddos this morning. A little chilly to start the day, 31 degrees by 7 o'clock, 35 by 8 o'clock. And by the time the kids are nestled snugly in their classroom around 9 o'clock this morning, upwards of 39 to 40 degrees. So watch out for fog this morning. Doesn't look to be a big issue, but something just to give you a heads up on before you head out the door.
Well, this is your last chance to see the country's largest Chinese Lantern Festival. All you gotta do is scan this QR code right there, or you can go to fox17.com/contest for your chance to receive 2 tickets to Zooluminations, the Chinese Festival of Lights.
This is such a great family event, or maybe you're looking for a little date night. The final weekend is coming up February 2nd through the 4th. That's this weekend at the Nashville Zoo. Now, if you're scanning the QR code, just a quick reminder, sometimes you might have a message or a data rate. But if you want the complete contest details, head to fox17.com.
We are continuing to follow information regarding that fatal crash on I-24 as you head into the city from around the Murfreesboro area. Authorities say that at least one person has died as a result of this crash. The best way to steer clear, Highway 231 and 431, Highways 41 and 231. Both of them, though, seeing a lot of backup. We'll be right back.
Our clients are never just
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Fox 17 News showing you a live look on Lower Broadway, talking about your Tuesday forecast, including some light showers later today, but sunshine in the forecast.
Breaking news in steer clear traffic, a deadly crash impacting your I-24 commute in the Murfreesboro area, plus how the rest of your mid-state drives are shaping up here on your Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for starting your day with us. For Fox 17 News, I'm Jennifer Waddell.
I'm Erica Glover. Right now, we do want to get started with traffic and get on over to our traffic anchor, Justin McFarland.
All right, let's get you to I-24 at Joe B. Jackson Parkway. That's where we are dealing with a crash, and unfortunately has ended the life of at least one person there on the roads. So this is going to be I-24 westbound. As you make that drive into town just south of the city of Murfreesboro. If you're going towards Murfreesboro, if you have a class at MTSU this morning up there, we're talking to you. It's going to be a much slower drive than normal because of this crash. It is tied up 24. On the eastbound side, the good news, if any, is that the traffic over here is now opened up in both lanes. Before, you were just getting by on the shoulder. Now you can get by on both lanes there. Let me show you what it's doing to the backup, though. This is going to be 24 Elam. This is around 3 miles behind the accident. 3 miles of traffic just like this all the way around the corner, and it's going to cause some serious issues throughout the morning. The best way for you to steer clear, Shelbyville Highway 231 on this side, Manchester Pike Highway 41 on this side. Both of them are going to have their fair share of problems, but both of them right now are better options than 24 as you make your way towards Murfreesboro.
6:32, looking at your forecast. No rain right now, but tracking incoming rain by the end of this morning. It's not going to be a big weather maker, but it definitely will be one that you need to know about when it comes to just trying to get out and about later today. Wintry mix overnight tonight, so possible snowflakes for the Cumberland Plateau. And we'll look at all this on Future Track and go hour by hour through morning, afternoon, and evening. But the big picture, afternoon showers in Middle Tennessee that will then die down going into the evening. No winter impacts. Starting off cold, winter coat this morning, upper 20s and low 30s, 54 degrees later on this afternoon.
In your community, Hendersonville is throwing a benefit concert tonight. It's all part of their start to help the community after the December tornadoes hit their city really hard.
Yeah, a lot of folks coming together to raise money to help them rebuild. And our Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Hughes joining us outside of the place where that's going to happen tonight. It's the Premier Center in Hendersonville.
Doors open here tonight at 5:30 at the Premier Center. There's going to be local musicians performing. There's going to be a silent auction, food and drinks. And the city's Parks and Rec director tells us that hundreds of businesses, families, homes, hundreds of them were destroyed from the tornadoes, and the impact is still there. And also the city's parks taking a massive hit from the tornadoes' damage. Now hoping to bring the community back together for a good time and for a good cause. It's called Hendersonville Rising. There's tons of local artists performing. There will be a silent auction, food and drinks. And Andy Gilley is the Hendersonville Parks and Recreation Director. He says the parks for the city face about $700,000 worth of damage, and insurance is covering about $200,000 so far.
A tornado went right down Main Street in one of our busiest and most impactful business areas. You know, to have that many businesses impacted, it not only is bad for our local economy, but it's real bad for the people who worked there. So it could take a long time for Main Street to build back.
The city is hoping to raise money to help businesses get back on their feet after the tornado in December ripped through this city. Now, tickets are $55. You can buy them online. There is a link that we'll have up later today on our website that takes you directly to this Eventbrite site, so you can buy a ticket. It's $55, or you can buy them as well at the door when the doors open up again at 5:30 tonight. Reporting in Hendersonville, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Peyton, thank you. 6:35 right now, continuing coverage on the legal battle over the Covenant School Shooters journals. We have a Metro judge that has now set the hearing to hear arguments for April 16th and 17th.
Well, the National Police Association, Tennessee Firearms Association, the Tennessean, and the Tennessee Star newspapers all filing a lawsuit back in April, demanding the shooter's writings be made public. We've talked about this. The families of the 6 victims and others connected to the school do not want that to happen.
Now, if you would like to read more of our coverage of this story, including all the in-depth we've been reporting over the last, well, close to a year now, you can head to our website, fox17.com.
New this Tuesday morning, we also want to let you know Metro Police say one man is facing charges after a woman was hit by a stray bullet. All of that happening while she was inside of her home over on Lewis Street.
So this all happened, we understand, according to police, on January 5th, but we now have an identification and an arrest. Police say Brian Eubanks got into an argument with a man who had just given him a ride home. Officers say Eubanks started shooting as that truck drove away, hitting the truck, plus that house on Lewis Street. We understand that woman inside along with her 5-year-old daughter. Eubanks taken into custody just early this morning. He's now charged with aggravated assault.
At 6:36, happening today, more than 50 cancer patients, survivors, and their families from Tennessee. They're traveling over to the state capitol to advocate for funding and policies that prevent tobacco use.
Still to come here on Fox 17 News this morning in our 7 o'clock hour, Kelly Avellino is going to break down that proposed legislation.
Hi, I'm Greg. I live in Blue.
6:39 is the time. Let me take you down to Rutherford County. That is where we're following some unfortunate news. We do have a fatal crash happening right here on I-24 at Joe B. Jackson Parkway. You can see where authorities have shut down I-24 going west into the city of Murfreesboro and eventually into the city of Nashville. The backup behind it is pretty long. Take a look right here. You can see it for yourself. This is 24 at Elam. This is around 3.5 miles behind where the accident happened. Nothing but a parking lot at this point as people try to figure out exactly what to do next. I can tell you for a fact what you want to try to do is take some detours here. That includes the Manchester Pike area, Highway 41 here, Shelbyville, Highway 231 on this side. Both of them are going to have their fair share of issues. Listen, if you're anywhere south of Murfreesboro this morning, no matter how you slice it, it is going to be a very slow go getting into town here. So if you are below this area, anywhere down in this direction, and you're trying to work your way into Murfreesboro, just know you want to give yourself not an extra 10 minutes. No. Another 20 to 30 minutes, I would estimate, at least, if you're trying to get somewhere on time, because every single roadway outside of 24 here, and the little ones all in between are all going to be tied up as people try to avoid sitting in that parking lot on I-24.
6:41, taking a look at your forecast here. I'm breaking down the rain chances for later today. First of all, frosty windshields. Sunrise hasn't quite officially made it to every windshield just yet. Keep that in mind. Cold temperatures, upper 20s, low 30s. The defrost might be your friend this morning. A few extra minutes for that as well. Taking a look at future track, by 8 a.m., a few isolated rain showers try to get into southern Kentucky, but the better chance for a few showers to work their way in will be late morning into early afternoon. You could barely even pick up the greens here on Future Track at this point. Every model run has been weakening and weakening, the rain moving in, but middle of the morning, far north, early afternoon, more toward Middle Tennessee. This moves out if you're going into tonight. We'll talk snowflake chances and the next really good burst of a couple sunny days in a row in the next check of your forecast.
We continue to follow your circular traffic out there on I-24 near Joe B. Jackson Parkway. It is going to be a slow go for the foreseeable future. We've got a crew on the way to the scene. I'll tell you the best ways to deal with this when we come back. 6:43 is the time. Want to take a quick look at your steer clear traffic out there as we continue to follow this fatal crash, according to the Tennessee Highway Patrol at I-24 going westbound into the city of Murfreesboro, right here around the Joe B. Jackson Parkway exit. You can see for yourself, they have used a fire engine now to block the scene as they continue to investigate this fatal crash here. And crews are also working on both sides, not just on this side, but also on the I-24 eastbound side as well. Unsure exactly what happened here. We do know that authorities are there investigating, and when they do a fatal crash investigation, it can take a little bit longer as they have to take measurements and pictures and all kinds of things. But what does this mean for you, the driver back behind it? Well, you can see this person here taking the shoulder. I don't know where. I don't know where they're taking the shoulder because, you know, listen, this is it. Okay, it's going to be a bit of a parking lot for these folks. If you're not in that parking lot, you can try Manchester Pike or Shelbyville Highway is the best ways to steer clear.
6:44 your time taking a look at your forecast. Moving you forward, I'm going to take you right where we just left off. So this is going into this evening after the rain has moved away from the Nashville area, moved out of southern Kentucky. It'll be out toward the Cumberland Plateau. Then overnight tonight, cold air moves in real quick. And once it does, we're going to see a couple of different colors develop on the radar. Now, got to look really close to possibly see them, but a couple little splotches here of some pink and some blue showing us there could be a little mixed precipitation that comes down after midnight in the plateau. You may be asleep for all of it. If you're up around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, you may catch a couple of snowflakes, and then just like that, all the cloud cover is gone. Right now, we're cold, upper 20s and low 30s. Current temps right side of your screen, even during the commercial breaks. We'll be at 54 later on this afternoon, and then bring in some cooler air. Whatever snowflake activity we see overnight in our upper elevations will not give us any winter impacts when it comes to accumulation or slick spots for tomorrow morning. 54 today goes to 45 degrees tomorrow, upper 50s on Thursday. That's the next really sunny day in the forecast. And nighttime temps get a little bit better as well. Then 62 on Friday and 62 on Saturday.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Folks around the Asheville, North Carolina area started the work week with a coat of snow. Higher elevations saw several inches. The coating enough to turn some landscapes into a late January winterland of wonders. And it seems for this dog, any day is a good day for soccer, and a snow-covered balcony likely adds to the fun.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Talking about our economy, we have seen prices skyrocket here in Nashville for more than half a decade. Now a new report, though, by Rent Research says this month marks 4 consecutive months that we have seen a rent price drop.
All right, good news. We'll take it. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar tells us about how much it has dropped and the reason behind it.
That's right. There's good news for renters. A report by Rent Research says that for the last 4 consecutive months, we've seen rent prices drop in the South. The median rent price is now $1,600, which is lower than places like in the Northeast or the West. And there are several reasons for that. One of those is because it's the fall and the winter, so there's less people going in to ask to rent. Another reason is simply construction of apartment complexes and buildings. We've seen them pop all over Nashville. It's a matter of supply and demand. The more supply there is to meet that demand, the lower the rent prices are. Now, we weren't able to talk to renters, but what we do want to know, is there going to be an upward trajectory of these rent price drops continuing? Well, we've reached out to the team at Rent Research, and we're waiting to hear back. Reporting in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. 6:47. Check this out. We know and we have seen that sitting in court and testifying as part of a trial can be very difficult on children. but there is a program that's aiming to ease that struggle just a little bit.
Yeah, it involves some furry friends who can help ease the stress inside a courtroom.
Walking into a big courthouse like this one here in downtown San Diego can feel pretty intimidating, especially if you're just 8 years old, you've never been here before, and you have to testify. Well, San Diego has a special tool with 4 paws that can help.
Let's go.
It's another day at the office.
Here we're going to work.
For Marilyn Ambrose and her 5-year-old golden doodle.
We got a job to do. I call her Amazing Grace, but it's really just Grace. Let's go.
Grace is one of the furriest employees at the San Diego District Attorney's Office. With her official badge, Grace is one of 11 dogs in San Diego and one of 322 dogs in the U.S. that help some of the youngest and most vulnerable victims testify in court.
The dog feels tension of the child. There's no question.
The 4-legged attorneys can help any victim.
You can have a dog for the preliminary hearing.
But Deputy District Attorney and Court Dog Program Director Carrie Johnson says they most often help support victims of child molestation.
They are able to be right there in the witness stand. They're able to pet them, and just being able to relieve that tension, that stress, having that source of comfort helps them open up. With that dog there, it makes such a huge difference.
And the dogs don't even know the difference they're making.
All she knows is she's feeling the tension coming from the child. So she'll put her head on their lap or sit at their feet. Sometimes the child is just, shaking. Time to go to work.
Marilyn is 92 years old, and she's been volunteering for more than a decade.
Sit. Hey, good girl.
First with her dog Caleb, but after he crossed the Rainbow Bridge, she didn't stop, and she's made a difference in hundreds of cases.
I know that, and that's why I'm still here. I can't help but think of when I come home, I just sit down and sometimes just cry, because I can't do that in the courtroom.
When kids go through the trauma of violence and fear, having that support animal can make a huge difference.
District Attorney Summer Steffen was one of the first to make motions to use therapy dogs in court even before the law passed. She used multiple dogs during the trial for the 2010 Kelly Elementary School shooting.
We had so many little victims that were 5, 6, 7 years old. We needed so many dogs.
There are specific parameters that the court dog programs have to follow and be able to go through the right training to ensure that they're not disruptive.
Although some disruptions are welcomed,
let's go. Turn around.
The dogs have brought a small sense of humor in a tense courtroom.
The victim, who was 12 years old, was testifying, and the court dog had actually fallen asleep and started snoring very loudly.
And as the court dog program celebrates 15 years,
I'll keep going as long as I can.
Both the program and Marilyn have no plans of stopping.
I'm not going to retire.
Reporting in downtown San Diego,
a day in the life of Grace and Marilyn.
I'm Zara Barker.
Well, that is so sweet.
Now I know what I'm doing when my current career comes to an end. You can find me in the courts with the doggos.
I would not doubt it. Aww. Hey, in consumer news now, a prescription drug recall. Azurity Pharmaceuticals has recalled some of their ADHD and narcolepsy medicine after a different drug ended up in the pill bottle.
Oh, that is frightening. The company says that they have issued this recall after some of the Zenzetti tablets had an antihistamine medicine in the package instead. Zenzetti is a stimulant used for the treatment of ADHD and narcolepsy, as Erica mentioned. Carbenoxamine is a sedative and has the opposite effect of a stimulant. So you can see the concern here. The recall warning people who take the antihistamine instead of Zenzetti could experience drowsiness, and then that could certainly put you at risk of perhaps, driving the car drowsy or getting hurt. So definitely worth a look here if this is something that you take daily.
Making headlines also, Tennessee joining 26 other states in a letter to the Biden administration supporting Texas's border defense. This does come after Texas Governor Greg Abbott pushed back against federal lawmakers last week and then added more wire to the border fence.
Yeah, he did that after the feds told him to take it down, and then he doubled down. According to a release from our Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Scrimetti's office, a federal district court did find that Texas's border defense wires did reduce illegal border crossings by more than 2/3. Mr. Scrimeti's office also says that all of these states, including Tennessee, are demanding that the feds either enforce the laws that secure the southern border or allow states like Texas to stop the invasion themselves. Right now, 6:53 is your time, and we continue to follow the breaking news and steer clear traffic. A deadly accident has now shut down I-24 as you're approaching Murfreesboro. We'll get you the best detours, plus take a look at the rest of your mid-state morning commute in minutes.
The big game trivia. It's your chance.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Want to get into steer clear traffic. The highest impact zone in the morning commute right now is on I-24. We have a deadly crash that has stopped traffic I-24 westbound. Those are the right lanes that you see on your screen. That's traffic approaching Murfreesboro. This is right near the Joe B. Jackson interchange. So you are definitely not going to want to get on I-24 if you are east of Murfreesboro. Justin has been giving you the detours of Highway 41 or 231 as your best options, but those are backed up. And you'll notice toward the left of your screen, that is the backup from traffic leaving Nashville and going out past Murfreesboro, so even congestion there. Gonna get a check here real quick on some of your other morning drive times, because we know a lot of you are coming in and out of different places. So good morning to you in Mount Juliet. If you're in Wilson County, your morning drive is pretty standard, about 30 minutes or so, 33 minutes. Hendersonville to downtown also pretty typical, about 39 minutes. I will say that Vietnam Veterans Boulevard is pretty jammed up this morning. No crashes, just a little bit of a backup in that morning congestion. And then your Clarksville drive into downtown, 67 minutes right now, which is a little slow, but pretty close to typical. We'll dive deeper into your steer clear traffic reports at the top of our 7 o'clock hour.
Checking out our forecast here, and we're taking a look at top of the radar where there's no rain yet, but we're tracking rain getting closer and closer to Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, making its way in from the northwest to the southeast. It will make its way into our far northwesternmost counties as we get into our 7 and 8 o'clock hours and become only live and local news source. Out the door this morning to upper 20s to right near 30 degrees. So Blakely, our dog of the day, if you're going to be outside and you're going to be getting your dog walk going in, it's going to be cold, but look at the afternoon, 52 at noon and 55 degrees at 3 p.m. But a few raindrops could get in our way, so your morning is going to be your best bet these next several hours. Even though it's a little bit colder, these are the ones we're going to be on the dry side and not contend with that incoming rain this afternoon.
Well, you can score with the big game trivia. Grab your phone to scan the QR code right here on your screen for your chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. Register to play the big game trivia contest. So think about all your football knowledge, put it to the test. You could win a $100 as a prepaid debit card, or enter for a chance to be the $5,000 weekly winner. Best of luck.
Well, as it pertains to the Super Bowl, it's expensive this year. In fact, record-breaking expensive just to get to the game. The online marketplace TickPick reports that the average ticket for the Super Bowl is almost $10,000. And again, that would make it the most expensive in Super Bowl history.
Yeah, this year's Super Bowl does feature the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. They faced off back in 2020. You probably remember that, which previously did hold the record for the most expensive tickets. That's no longer the case. The ticket site says the Super Bowl location of Las Vegas, that could be contributing to the high prices.
Looking ahead to next month, when the Nashville Predators will be wearing a special new jersey designed by a TSU professor.
The jerseys are in honor of Black History Month. TSU professor Kalina Sales right here designing the logo. She says the design, here it is, offers a duality that bridges historical and contemporary Black culture. This is the second year the Predators have chosen a TSU professor to design cultural jerseys and t-shirts honoring Black History Month. They do debut on the ice Wednesday, and then later they're going to be signed and put up for auction.
Well, everything is more expensive these days. We were just talking about Super Bowl tickets. Valentine's Day is approaching, and if you celebrate, you'll notice it's going to be more expensive this year as well. The National Retail Federation predicts that Valentine's Day spending is going to hit a record of $14.2 billion, not necessarily because people are buying more stuff. It's just that what we do buy is more expensive.
Yeah, the National Retail Federation says that shoppers are going to be spending the most on jewelry, the flowers, and clothing. Oh, also those special dates. Save your money, just spend time together.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. As we do approach 7 o'clock, the breaking news and steer clear traffic we continue to follow is the deadly crash on I-24. We have a crew on the way to the scene. Breaking news updates in moments. Plus a live look from downtown Nashville where you can see the clouds are starting to try to move out just a little bit and give us some sunshine. I know that we've all been waiting on that. Greg Bobus, our Code Red meteorologist, will tell us when things finally start to clear out this week.
And it's a debate that remains in the hearts and minds of so many across the mid-state. After several months of pause, we are one step closer to getting some answers. Here on Fox 17 News, we're talking about the battle over the Covenant School shooters' writings and how it's taking another turn. Details on why a resolution is still months away. Thanks for joining us on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. And we do begin with the breaking news and tragedy on I-24 this morning, a deadly crash that has a high impact to your morning commute. Detours. Here's Justin.
All right, everyone, let's get you out to the very latest happening there on I-24 near Joe B. Jackson Parkway. That is where we are dealing with a fatal crash. They have got the fire truck in place to block off the scene back behind it as crews with the Tennessee Highway Patrol continue their work. These vehicles that you're looking at right here have been sitting here now for about an hour waiting to try to get by while crews continue their work. So what can you, who are not sitting in this, do about it? Let me tell you about your detours actions out there this morning. Highway 41 near Manchester Pike is a good way to steer clear. 231 on Shelbyville Highway is also a good way for you to steer clear. There's smaller streets in and around the area like Butler Road that you could try to use as well. But all of those, every single one of those streets are going to be backed up here this morning because the backup here on 24 is pretty epic. You can see it curling back around the curve here. This is a full 3 miles behind where the accident takes place on I-24 near Elam Road. So please keep that in mind. 24 is going to be a slowdown. If you got a class at MTSU, any businesses this morning in Murfreesboro, everywhere is going to see an impact because of this. We're going to continue to follow it and bring you more details as soon as we get them, as we have a crew on the way to that scene.
7:02, a look at your Code Red forecast. No weather this morning to slow you down when it comes to just physically anything coming from the sky just yet. We're going to actually have, though, a chance for a few showers later today and then even a few flurries overnight. We're seeing a little bit of sunshine for right now, but by the afternoon we get blanketed in clouds. We'll find our best days in the 7-day forecast before I'm even done talking right now. Taking a look, all clear for our Code Red. Keeping the arrow right there. There will be the afternoon rain showers that we have to track for you, though, throughout the morning. Nothing is here yet. We are dry for right now. If you're parked in the shade and you're parked outside, you may have some frost on your windshield before you get out the door and get it started. So keep that in mind. Taking a look, here's our next weather maker. It is this cold front that will cool our temperatures back a little bit once the rain moves out and cool them to the point to where if you're in the Cumberland Plateau, you'll want to look at timing of when this moves away because you could see some incoming snow flurries. We're going to tackle all that on Future Track here in about 5 minutes. Just know that 54 degrees this afternoon, but it's really cold to start. We have to inch our way there throughout the morning into the afternoon.
She knows what it feels like to be shot at over and over and over and over again.
At 7:03, we have continuing coverage on the legal battle over the Covenant School shooters' writings. We've been talking about that extensively here on Fox 17 News. Well, now a Metro judge set a hearing, to hear arguments for April 16th and April 17th. This does all come after the National Police Association, the Tennessee Firearms Association, the Tennessean, and Tennessee Star newspapers. They all filed a lawsuit in April demanding the shooters' writings be made public. Well, the families of the 6 victims and others connected to the school do not want that to happen. Listen.
But when this case went up on appeal, I had other cases. And so I have not done a deep dive. I need Metro to tell me what documents they believe are responsive and why they are not producing them.
Okay, the judge speaking there. 3 students and 3 school staffers were killed when a former student went on a rampage that happened last March. Well, Fox 17 News, like I said, we have been covering this story ever since it happened. If you would like to catch up on our previous coverage, go to fox17.com and then search Covenant.
This merely gives the judge the tools to deny bail.
Making headlines this morning, we have some state lawmakers in Tennessee who want to amend our Constitution to give judges more power to deny bond to people who are accused of serious crimes. As it stands right now, first-degree murder is the only crime in Tennessee where a judge can refuse to set bail and order somebody to be held until trial. Well, this new call for change comes after high-profile cases in our state where people who were out on bond went on to commit other serious crimes. Now, this bill has not officially been filed yet, but we understand it's coming. House Speaker Cameron Sexton among the supporters. He wants to include violent offenses such as taking advantage or assaulting children and even lesser murder charges. He wants those to be included on the list.
Let me give an example, a child rapist. Right now, you have to give them bail. There is no option. If you have someone who's committed 3 violent crimes, you have to give them bail. You have no option unless it's a capital offense.
State Representative John Ray Clemens telling Fox 17 News that Democrats are willing to work with Republicans on this measure. If it passes, this amendment would appear on a statewide ballot in 2026, where voters would then have the final say.
And we want to know what you think about this, so we're over on our X account. We're asking this question. Should we change the state constitution to allow judges to refuse bail for people charged with more violent crimes? As of right now, 86.9% of you all say yes. There is still plenty of time, though, to go ahead and let us know what you think. Again, our Fox Nashville X account.
Well, coming up on Fox 17 News this morning, we're taking you live to that scene on I-24 going westbound near Joe B. Jackson. We have got our crews who are there giving us a much closer look at an accident that unfortunately ended someone's life about an hour ago. We'll be right back.
At 7:08, Fox 17 News covering breaking news out of Rutherford County. The interstate is closed due to a deadly crash. That is where we find our Fox 17 News reporter, Karen Aguilar. She has just got there. Karen, what are you finding out?
Well, the Tennessee Highway Patrol tells me that at least one person was killed right here behind me on I-24 near mile marker 82. We just saw the body of that person being removed from firefighters from a gray car. You can see that there are several cop cars here lining the westbound side of this highway to clear up that crash. Tennessee Highway Patrol spokesperson says it's a multiple car crash and it looks like 2 gray cars from what we saw. Now, we don't know the identity of that victim or why the crash happened. We are working to find out more information on the circumstances surrounding this incident, along with when this lane could be cleared up. Reporting live in Murfreesboro, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. So she was just showing us that scene. And again, firefighters are there dealing with that Murfreesboro fire on the scene. As a matter of fact, that's Karen and our crew right up there taking a look back here. So they're right there on top of it, bringing you this live and local information for you like no one else can, because we're the only ones on the air live now with this kind of local information. So they are continuing to watch this crash here, and we'll let you know when lanes reopen. So there is a long line of traffic back behind it, leading all the way into the city of Murfreesboro. But they are trying to do something about it. Let me show you here. A few moments ago, and we still have one left over. I'll take a full step out of the frame so you can see it. That is an 18-wheeler who is backing up on I-24. Now, keep in mind, this is normally an interstate where people are flying at 70, 80 miles per hour. They've got the 18-wheelers there reversing back to turn around and get off the interstate. So they have shut down part of I-24 going eastbound to turn all that traffic around and hopefully clear the backlog that has been sitting there for about an hour now. So eventually we expect all of this traffic here will clear out and turn around and go back so they can continue on elsewhere here, so they will not have to sit here on I-24 anymore. Here we go. They're showing things around. Here we go, right up here. Slowly but surely, with the direction of TDOT, cars are now turning around and going back the other direction. Wait for your local first responder to get there to give you the green light to do it, because we don't want mass chaos here. There's not enough room for the 18-wheelers who turn around like that, so they're having to go straight back. So that is what we're dealing with there on I-24. It's a bit of a mess. We can tell you for certain that your drive time is going to be impacted. Highway 41 is going to be your best bet to steer clear. That's Manchester Pike. Shelbyville Highway is going to be your other way that you can steer clear at Highway 231. We'll continue to follow it because there's a lot to look at there with this crash.
And a quick check of your forecast here. Sun trying to win the game, but right now clouds taking over. We have nothing on radar, but we are a little on the cold side. Upper 20s and low 30s on the right side of your screen. Getting you up and out the door. No problems for the morning hours, so we'll keep things climbing when it comes to temperatures. Middle to upper 30s through 9 o'clock, 44 degrees by 10. And then we'll be up to 50s this afternoon. I'm tracking some potential incoming rain this afternoon in the next check of your code red forecast.
Coming up next, time is running out for mid-state tornado victims to apply for help from FEMA. When the cutoff is and how you can apply.
When your door is open.
7:14 is the time. You know, the snow and the ice may be gone, but county and city leaders are still answering questions from citizens about what happened when that snow and ice was on the ground. Randall Huddle is one of those people answering questions. He is the mayor of Wilson County. He got lots of questions about why certain things were open and why certain things were not when that snow and ice fell. Now, the mayor says his resources are very limited. Some citizens were irritated when the trash services stopped. Now, the mayor says there's a very good reason behind that, and it's not just manpower.
When the temperatures get to a certain temperature, the hydraulics on the compactors don't work, and there's nothing they can do about that, so that keeps the trash from being condensed. And then Lebanon, for example, that don't have their trash people running, the Lebanon city folks come and use the convenience centers, and that's their right. They pay taxes, it's theirs too, so not a big deal there, but that gives us more volume than what we're used to. But the biggest kicker there is that the landfill in Smith County shut down. So when they shut down, I've got nowhere to carry the trash.
Ooh, a chain reaction of just mess going on there in Wilson County, and he wasn't the only one. There's several mid-state counties and cities who struggled when the snow and ice fell, trying to deal with certain things. The mayor says he is very thankful to all the city workers who did brave the cold to keep things going there in Wilson County.
Justin, thank you. 7:16 is the time. Unfortunately, we're going to have a couple of light showers, correct, this evening?
That's true, but right now everything actually is trending a little bit lighter than it looked even an hour ago.
Greg, I just saw a Facebook post from somebody who said, I am so glad to finally see the sun. She's got a gorgeous sunrise shot posted on Facebook. So I would just say,
I'm jealous.
Well, and I would encourage you, if you're up this morning and you've got a great sunrise shot, snap a picture. You can email us news@fox17.com, or you can send them to our social media pages. We'd love to share them.
Absolutely. And you know, we need a little break from everything that we've seen. It's been a long month here in January. We're going to get a little bit of a break for today's actual National Plan for Your Vacation Day. Well, maybe you don't have the money, don't have the resources for it. The end of this week is almost going to feel like a vacation compared to the weather we had the last 3 weeks. Taking a look, little light rainfall possible later today, but it's not going to be anything more than a nuisance and last just a couple of hours. Cold front moves in. Now overnight, if you're in the Cumberland Plateau, you could get a couple of flurries, but those are not going to cause any winter impacts when it comes to slick roadways, when it comes to any accumulation, none of that. Then here's your vacation. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, no precipitation of any form, and then we'll make our way up to temperatures that will be in the low 60s Friday and Saturday. So today, not perfect. We're a little bit cold. We're hovering near 30 right now. We do have this incoming band of some potential rain, but look at the greens. They're hard to even find this afternoon. And every time I've been looking at new updates of Future Track throughout the morning, it's looked less and less likely for a substantial amount of rain or even a substantial amount of time we'll be seeing rain. Cumberland Plateau here 6 p.m. and then overnight, we'll see the green go to the chance for some blues and pinks, a little wintry mix. Here's 4 a.m. and a few of those pockets could linger the first hour or so leading towards sunrise while you're waking up. Then that's it. Then your vacation is there. Here's your 7-day. Pretty good looking. 54 degrees this afternoon, 45 tomorrow. 57 on Thursday. What was looking like the best day might be one of 2 back-to-back best days. That goes to 62 on Friday and 62 on Saturday. We've got to talk more about the weekend, though, because it is a definition of a two-parter in many ways. We'll piece those two together in just a few moments.
Steer clear traffic at 7:18. The big story we've been following, unfortunately, is this fatal crash on I-24 near Joe B. Jackson. So what you're looking at now is not the crash itself. The camera's moved away from that. But what you're looking at is first responders going car by car, telling people exactly what they need to do in order to turn around and go back to another exit so they can continue on down I-24, because they've been stuck out here for about an hour and 20 minutes or so since that crash happened. You can see that's a TDOT worker right there in yellow, trying to explain the situation, answer any questions that drivers have before continuing on there down I-24. And it's not just there. They're also doing this in a couple of other locations. Okay, you're good? Okay, let me tell you what's going on here. And he'll go line by line. Let me show you a very unusual sight. This is I-24 at east and west. See what's happening here? The cars are going in both directions here, which is highly unusual here, but they've got to clear the highway. But the 18-wheelers cannot do what the vehicles are doing. They cannot turn around, so they're having to go straight back. So give them some space. Look at this. They're having to get around, and then you're having to pass an 18-wheeler that is going straight back on the interstate. It has got to be one of the most surreal driving experiences that you can have, but that's exactly what's happening here as they try to get out of the way of this fatal crash while police continue their work. We'll continue to tell you the best things to do, and that includes, if you could just stay off of it, Highway 41 at the Manchester Pike is a good way to steer clear. So is 231 at Shelbyville Highway, but everywhere is going to be tied up as this crash has really caused big problems out there for drivers.
Justin, thank you so much for that update. 7:20 right now. I want to give you a heads up here this morning. The deadline to ask FEMA to help you after last month's tornadoes is approaching quickly. In fact, it's coming up here in February. Homeowners and renters in Davidson County, along with 6 other counties, have until February 12th to apply for financial help from FEMA. That money could be used to cover anything from your living expenses to home repairs and anything else that might have had damage that is not covered under insurance. So far, we know that FEMA has awarded more than $3 million to 1,600 households impacted by the tornadoes.
And we do have a link and phone number on our website, fox17.com, to help you out. Just search FEMA assistance. Take a look at this. Krispy Kreme, this is over in Berry Hill, in flames Sunday night, and Metro Fire Department out there, of course, tackling, trying to extinguish all of this. One of our viewers sending this over to our Facebook page, telling us that he saw the blaze on the corner of Nolensville Pike and Thompson Lane. This fire is under investigation.
All right, so thanks to David Kalmusky for that video. You can always help your community stay in the know several different ways. One of them is to share with us what you're seeing, and you can do that easily by heading to our Fox 17 News app, and you can download it by scanning that QR code that's right there on your screen. You know, we love working with y'all to tackle issues in our communities. You can follow our social media accounts, and then also when you scan that QR code, it'll take you to sign up for our free daily newsletter. You can also sign up for that at fox17.com.
Nashville Yards developers are making an announcement today. We'll tell you what we know so far.
WWE's Bianca Belair and
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. Glad to be here for you through 9 at 7:24 right now. And new this morning, the Nashville Yards developers. This is the 19-acre mixed-use development in Nashville. They have now prepared for a big announcement coming today.
We've been talking about the Nashville Yards for years.
Yeah, we have.
A $1 billion overall project that was going to transform some of downtown Nashville. Let's get to Fox 17 News. Peyton Muse, who's got more on exactly what they could be unveiling. Yeah, I see you looking, Peyton. What's going on down there?
Yeah, good morning, guys. So there's a lot of construction on both sides of Church Street here. Actually, we can feel the sidewalk here shaking just a moment ago, but we're standing right by where the largest skyscraper, 60 floors, will be once crews are done working on this part of the Nashville Yards project. And they're giving us a tour, the developers, later this morning around 10 this morning, and showing us what we'll get an update on whatever the announcement is. But we do know so far is that there's going to be a music venue in Nashville Yards. There's going to be a movie theater, and they're also opening up another hotel, MGM, here in the heart of downtown. We're in Nashville. We're in Music City. There's a lot of action on Church Street here. And as Nashville continues to grow, businesses are following and relocating to Music City. We know Amazon's here, Oracle and Pinnacle. They're all here making Nashville home. And Nashville's Business Journal reports that AEG presents a concert promotion and artist development group. They're also relocating here, and they're going to be the ones that are in charge of that music venue, and that venue is set to open hopefully in 2025, so sometime next year. And obviously, once we know what this announcement is, we'll be sure to keep you all updated. Reporting live downtown, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Peyton, thank you so much. Let's get a quick look at steer clear traffic out there. This is from our live crew on the scene of a fatal accident that has happened on I-24 near Joe B. Jackson Parkway there in Murfreesboro. Crews are continuing to work. Looks like they've got tow trucks in place now to try and tow away some of the cars there at that scene. But it's not just here that you need to be concerned about. This is just the cause of this accident. Let me show you what's going on back behind it. This is I-24 as they continue to turn vehicles around out there on the interstate. One by one, slowly but surely, they're trying to clear it. Here is one view. Here is another view here where, again, we get this very unusual view. It's almost like a hurricane. What we see in other cities where they turn the hurricane, they turn the interstates in both the same direction, trying to get everybody out of town. This is what it looks like here as you've got cars heading both directions here on I-24, where normally they would be going in opposite directions here, but this is so they can clear the interstate. Best way for you to steer clear, Highway 41 and 231, both of them backed up with traffic of their own.
727 right now, right near 30 degrees, a little bit of sunshine, but this weekend, that's what you want to look forward to. Friday and Saturday, both 62 degrees. Sunday, our best chance for some rain to move in, and I am tracking a shower or two for this afternoon, and I'll start doing that right when we get into our 7:30 half hour in just a few minutes.
Greg, thank you very much. At 7:28, Hendersonville neighbors being asked to choose between two tax increases. We first brought you the story yesterday morning right here on Fox 17 News. We'll tell you what the mayor says the alternative would be to that in minutes.
And Doug. Customize and save with Liberty Bibbity.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, police making an arrest after stray bullets fly into a house, injuring a woman and terrifying her family. New information on what led up to that shooting.
And brand new updates here at the Weather Center when it comes to the possibility of rain later today. What looks a little bit better and what looks worse. We're going to piece it together in your forecast.
And steer clear traffic, we continue to follow this scene on I-24 near Joe B. Jackson, where they continue to turn cars around. We'll take you there.
We do want to start by thanking you, though, for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news team through 9 a.m. We'll start this half hour with an update right now on that breaking news out of Rutherford County, where I-24 has now been shut down for hours due to a deadly crash.
We're going to get on over to Fox 17 News reporter Kieran Aguilar, working to learn more at this scene.
Jen and Erica, it's a tragedy that happened early this morning. The Tennessee Highway Patrol tells me at least one person died in a multiple car crash right behind me on I-24 westbound. A tow truck just arrived to pull those cars out. That's the gray cars that are crumpled from the impact. You can see that Murfreesboro police and fire department is here trying to pry the person's body out of that car. We also saw a blue sheet covering the victim, along with other first responders trying to clear up that scene and investigate the circumstances surrounding this incident. We don't know for how long first responders are going to be out here, and we also don't know the identity of that victim, but we will have those updates as we get them. Reporting live in Murfreesboro, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
7:32. Let's take a quick look at your Steer Clear traffic, and it is all about, unfortunately, that fatal crash here. As crews continue to turn vehicles around, they have to clear, I would estimate, hundreds of vehicles that were in this backup here. That was at least 3 miles long at one point, and trying to get them around. This is one of the trucks that is fortunate enough to be able to make a pin turn, that 3-point turn, to get themselves turned around. The 18-wheelers can't really do that, but all of these cars, well, this one's going to try. Is he going to try? Is he going to try and make that turn? Most of them have been going full reverse backwards in order to try and get back to the exit so they can get off. Other ones, like this truck, may be trying to give it a try there to make that full turnaround. Either way it goes, it's causing a slowdown, not just there, but also on I-24. Now listen, this is a part of the interstate would normally be flowing with traffic going this direction, but it's not. Instead, what you're seeing is vehicles coming back the other way, like this one. Here comes that box truck I think we were just following on our other camera. Here it comes flying down I-24, what would normally be westbound rather, now coming east into town as well. So heads up, just know there's a lot of turnaround that those cars are going to have to do in order to get all that traffic cleared off of I-24. Here is a map of the location, and it's a messy one. Here's 24 in the middle, Shelbyville Highway on this side, Manchester Pike on this side. Both of those clogged up with traffic. It's going to be tough to get past it. Here is a better view overall. Yeah, it's just backed up for miles and miles and miles. We're going to continue to follow it out there for you and let you know when this does clear up.
7:34, taking a look at your forecast. The bullet points you need to know that are new this morning and heading into the afternoon. What to expect. A little winter mix is possible tonight in the Cumberland Plateau. No winter impacts from that. Everyone else has the chance for a few showers, no thunderstorm activity, and nothing happening right now. It's later in the day. Right side of your screen, current temperatures are hovering right near 30 degrees. We'll be at 54 later today. We keep it all clear for code red. No significant weather, inconvenient weather. Here's that incoming weather maker that will track its way here in the coming hours. Nothing yet that we're worried about, but I have a brand new hour-by-hour timeline of maybe a more wintry situation overnight, but less rain during the afternoon for a few of us. We're going to tackle all of that and take a look at future track coming up in a few minutes and give you your 7-day forecast.
Greg, thank you. New this Tuesday morning, Metro Police say one man is facing charges after a woman was hit by a stray bullet. Police say while inside of her home over on Lewis Street.
Yeah, this happened on January 5th, that initial shooting, but police now tell us Brian Eubanks is the person they think is responsible. He got into an argument with a man who had just given him a ride home. Officers say Eubanks started shooting as that truck drove away, hitting the truck, plus that house where the woman was inside with her 5-year-old daughter at the time. Eubanks taken into custody early this morning. He is now charged with aggravated assault.
Hendersonville homeowners are being asked to choose between 2 tax increases to avoid drastic cuts in city services. So we're breaking this down.
Yeah, we were first telling you about this story yesterday morning, mentioning that the mayor says inflation is really taking a toll. And Mayor Clary says the only way to avoid layoffs in city departments is through some kind of tax increase. Now, we understand that Hendersonville folks, if you live in the city, you are going to be asked to approve a 0.5-cent sales tax increase or a 39% property tax increase when we get to a referendum coming up for Hendersonville March 5th. By the way, that sales tax hike would cost the average family about $75 a year. But listen, that depends on how much you spend, right, and what you're buying, versus an average $277 increase if you're looking at voting for the property tax.
A lot to factor in there. Yeah. We're also following some new information this morning from Metro Police, who are investigating what they call a robbery and kidnapping that happened outside the Soho House. It's a membership club over in the Wedgwood, Houston area. All
right, so police telling us that the 40-year-old victim was approached by 2 men with guns last Tuesday night in the breezeway right outside of Soho House. We've mapped it out here for you. Police tell us those 2 people then drove that 40-year-old to several banks before asking her to call a friend to get cash.
Well, they say the suspect spotted police at the planned meeting site and then left with the woman's phone and wallet. They're asking anyone who might have information to help with this case to go ahead and call Crime Stoppers. That number is 742-7463. More updates over on fox17.com.
popping up all over town. We're going to explain the science behind all those annoying potholes and what Nashville drivers have to say about the current road conditions.
And complete coverage in steer clear traffic this morning, making sure we have the rest of your morning commute covered. Yes, we do have the big issue down on I-24 in Murfreesboro, but giving you a look, I-40 at Briley Parkway, not bad here either, just congested as you're coming around the ramp. This is west of town. So if you're coming in this morning from Bellevue, not too bad, no need for any detours. We'll have complete steer clear coverage updates every 5 minutes, live through 9.
True or false? And
Good morning. Welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. Time right now is 7:40. In for a bumpy ride. Yeah. A lot of folks have been dealing with the potholes, us included, all around the mid-state. Just last year, there's a survey that shows Nashville ranks 4th in pothole problems nationwide. So it's not just your imagination.
And you can't guess what time of the day it may get worse for drivers. That's at night, when the darkness makes it so much harder for people to see those pesky potholes that are out there. I'm sure rain doesn't help things either. Let's see what Brent Luna has to say as he explains exactly how these craters, I call them dinosaur tracks, come to be.
Well, I'm sure you've probably seen them, heard them, and felt them as you're driving over them, but I'm talking about potholes, and this time of year, potholes really become an issue. It turns into pothole city kind of once we start to head into the winter months. So I just want to take you through and show you how these potholes develop, but first, we got to go back before the wintertime even gets here, and that's when we're just going to have those cars continuously going up the road. That's eventually going to wear out the road at least a little bit. Once that happens, that's going to leave us with these cracks that you see right here in the roadway, and then when those develop, whenever it rains, that rainwater is going to fall into those cracks and kind of pile up, pool up underneath the surface of the road. And then when we start to go into the winter months with our temperatures dropping below freezing, that water that has now pulled up underneath the surface of the road, it's going to freeze, it's going to expand, basically turn into a big ice cube and push the road up a little bit. And then once that water starts to melt, when we have our temperatures going back above freezing, there's going to be that cavity that's left now underneath the surface of the road. That's going to be a weak spot, and then with cars driving over the top of that, that's going to press that down into the road. Eventually, you're just going to get that hole that develops right there. This pothole that we're standing next to is probably about 6 inches deep or so right next to us. If you do come across any of these, you can report these. Just go to the Hub Nashville website. We're going to put a link to that too on our website. Reporting in Nashville, Brett Luna, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Brett, thank you. Speaking of potholes, y'all have a lot to say about them. We posted the story over on our Fox Nashville Facebook page. Some of your comments had us chuckling a little bit. Craig Hester here said Mario Kart race. Jason Bird said Super Mario Kart. Mark said Fast and Furious. Yeah, I mean, it's nuts out there. I have to tell you a personal story. I was over near Rivergate Mall a few days ago. There is a pothole that is so deep right there along Rivergate Parkway near Conference Drive that they put a traffic cone inside of it. So they set the traffic cone down in it, and I would say about that much of the traffic cone was submerged in the pothole to try to keep people from hitting it. So be careful out there. If you have a pothole that you need to report, maybe it's rattled your teeth when you hit it, you can report it pretty easily. What you'll want to do though is try to get a good location marker. So maybe the name of the road or the route, mile marker if that's possible, maybe even a nearby intersection. Those are all on your screen. Plus, we have a link to the way that you can report those potholes right now at fox17.com. Just search pothole.
Potholes in 3 words. Nature's golf game. Only these divots are not as easy to repair. So there we go. Those are my 3 cents. Taking a look here. Let's start talking about all the changes that I've seen happening throughout this entire morning, and a lot of them are good changes. Here's future tracks set up for pretty much right now. Not a whole lot happening. Off to our north and our west, there are a few showers that have put themselves together, but they've also fallen apart. Here we are. This is noon. 6 hours ago, it looked like a pretty decent batch of rain moving into southern Kentucky and northern middle Tennessee. Now, I'm not discounting this by any means to be completely wrong. There will still be a few showers out there, but much weaker and much more hit and miss than they looked even last night when you went to bed. 6 p.m. Cumberland Plateau still looking to have some decent showers that move into the area, and then overnight tonight we get real cold really quick, and that's going to bring in the possibility of a few little blue and pink streaks here A little wintry mix can't be ruled out. However, with that, no winter impact, no slick spots, and no accumulation. Clouds are out here early tomorrow. We're right near 30 today, 54 degrees this afternoon.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to I-24 near Joe B. Jackson. That is where we are continuing to follow the aftermath of that fatal crash. All right, so they have gotten all of the traffic now moved over, it would seem. Just the 18-wheelers remain, and one by one, a few of them are trying to move out of the way so they could turn around and move out. They've been sitting there since around 6 o'clock this morning. They were all scheduled to go somewhere. Every single one of these 18-wheelers is carrying something that someone is waiting on, and they cannot get there because of, unfortunately, someone losing their life here at I-24 near Joe B. Jackson. So they're turning these cars around and trying to get them out. This is the scene of them trying to do that. You can see they've shut down another portion of I-24 here. This is where the vehicles are going to be coming from. They were stuck at that crash. Best way to steer clear, Highway 231 on this side, 41 on this side.
Nashville Yards developers are making an announcement later this morning. We'll tell you what we know so far.
Protecting victims' rights. Or
Welcome back. 7:48 is the time, and today is a big day at the State House in the fight against smoking and tobacco, especially when it comes to our kids.
Yeah, and our Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino joining us live here in studio this morning to break down what's going on and the big issues for this year. That's right, guys. We've got about 60 people heading up to the State House today. A lot of them cancer survivors, a lot of folks from the American Cancer Society. They'll be talking with legislators there advocating for this funding, which is all to prevent kids really from starting smoking in the first place. No, I can tell you in Tennessee, about $2 million is spent a year on tobacco prevention programs in schools, things of that nature. That also includes pregnant women, preventing them or discouraging them from smoking. This year, the American Cancer Society wants $13 million. So a significant jump there. We know that teens very particularly are prone to vaping. About 10% of our kids are using vapes or e-cigarettes. Those aren't as harmful as the traditional cigarette, but they still have the nicotine in there. They still got all the other harmful chemicals in there as well. Tennessee has the third highest cancer rate connected to nicotine and tobacco in the country, the third highest rate for deaths as well related to nicotine and cancer. So we don't do too well here in Tennessee for preventing this type of death. A lot of the money that they're going to use here, again, goes directly into schools for preventing kids from even starting vaping or anything of that nature, as well as in counties as well, again, getting to adults, particularly pregnant women.
Yeah.
And I know, Kelly,
the e-cigarette and the vaping is a really big problem because they can conceal them a little bit easier sometimes in schools. So, no, it's definitely an issue we need to tackle, and that's why I'm excited to hopefully help get the program the funds they need to do a better job in Tennessee.
Again, we are third in the bottom in the country for spending. So we don't spend a whole lot here in Tennessee compared to other states. And I can tell you that the funding for the tobacco prevention is not the only thing on the agenda today. There are multiple bills that are circling through the State House that I'll talk about in our next half hour to aim at preventing tobacco.
So when it looks at that specific problem, the issue here is very serious, but the spending may not be matching.
No, and there was actually a lawsuit back in '98, Tennessee getting $406 million this year alone for prevention of tobacco, and we spend about $2 million a year.
All right, Kelly Avellino, thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Absolutely.
Let's send it over to Greg right now. He's got an update on your forecast. Hey, Greg, the sun's coming out.
The sun is out for now. There'll be a little cloud cover for the afternoon, but the bright sunshine that really dominates the forecast comes a little bit later this week. Crunch some more numbers here as we're almost rounding out the month of January. We have seen 5.36 inches of rain. We don't add much more to the bucket today or tomorrow, so these numbers look like they're almost about finalized for us. 7.6 inches of snowfall we've seen since the beginning of the month. Blanketed by clouds later today, a few isolated showers early afternoon. We'll be dotting the radar, very light rainfall, and then the chance for a few flurries overnight tonight into tomorrow morning in the Cumberland Plateau. 54 degrees. Temperature this afternoon, right now we're still chilly in the 30s. 45 tomorrow, and then starting tomorrow, a stretch of 5 straight days that will all be dry and bring in a good deal of sun.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. We've been watching one thing happening there in Rutherford County for most of the morning. That is I-24 near Joe B. Jackson. We are dealing with the road closure there because of a fatal crash, and police are continuing their investigation. Now, thankfully, they have cleared out all of the traffic. Every single car that was sitting here waiting since around 6 o'clock this morning, they've gotten it all out of the way. They have not reopened the road yet. They are pushing people off at an exit back behind it, and that too is causing a backup here. So this is going to be I-24 near Elam Road. This is about 3 miles behind the accident. So even though we do not see the traffic stopped right here, it is stopped here, further back, where people are being forced off and onto another detour. Just follow the first responders' instructions. They will try to get you around some of this. We can give you our best bet as far as detours are concerned coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you. New this morning, the Nashville Yards developers of the 19-acre campus for residential spaces, offices, and entertainment. Well, they have an announcement they're going to make today.
Yes, Southwest Value Partners, and we understand AEG are the developers for this big development. And Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse is joining us live this morning to tell us what we're expecting to hear today.
Good morning, guys. So at 10 o'clock this morning is when we should be expecting that announcement. The developers are going to give us a tour, but right where I'm standing on Church Street, right here is where the largest or the tallest skyscraper will be once they're done with the construction. 60 floors, so 60 stories high, and you can see there's I'm sure you could hear in the background crews hard at work, and they've been working since we've got here, and actually you could probably some of those bangings and some of the sounds that they're making. It actually shook the floor a little bit here where we're standing. But as Nashville continues to grow, more businesses want to relocate to Music City. Now, Amazon and Pinnacle, just to name a few, they're actually right in front of me here on Church Street. They're here, and there will be 7 acres of open green spaces in this new development, and Music City is getting another music venue with a 4,500 capacity event space and a 12-screen movie theater destination. Both of those expected to open in 2025. We'll let you know once we are done with our tour what the new developments or what information or whatever the new announcement is that Nashville Yards has to share with us. As soon as we get that information, we'll be sure to let you guys know. Reporting live downtown, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Peyton, thank you, and a live look to keep you covered on your morning drive. We know that, we have been covering that deadly crash out near Murfreesboro, but check this out. This is I-65 at the I-24 merge near Trinity Lane. TDOT working to get it cleared, but a big brake check as you're approaching Trinity. Ellington would typically be a good detour, but it's also backed up right now. If you're coming into Nashville north of town, you could take Dickerson Pike as the best detour.
Do you or a family member have a house?
I want to let you know it's your last chance to see the country's largest Chinese Lantern Festival. Scan this QR code that's up on your screen or go to fox17.com/contest for your chance to receive 2 tickets to Zulumination Chinese Festival of Lights. Another reminder here, it's the final weekend, okay? February 2nd through the 4th over at the Nashville Zoo. Message and data rates do apply. For complete contest details, one more time, go to fox17.com/contest.
And we're going to have some great weather dialed up here for this last weekend of it. So we'll give you that forecast day by day, just so you know you can make all the plans you want. Even your morning dog walk. Meet our dog of the day, Blakely, sent in by Linda and Bill from Clarksville. I'm told that this picture was taken by the groomer after a nice little grooming. Looking very studious there in his sorting cap. We had a Harry Potter situation going on over here. Taking a look, dog walking forecast for us this morning. Temperatures are in the mid-30s through 8 o'clock. We'll be in the mid-40s at 10 and then low 50s early afternoon. I have decreased rain chances going into the afternoon, but they're not at 0. The latest look at future track as we go into our 8 o'clock half hour.
Steer clear traffic. Let's take a look at what's going on I-24. This is at the scene of that fatal crash, thanks to our crew who was live there. They're showing the tow trucks here about to take some of those cars away that was involved with this crash. As a matter of fact, folks in the booth, let's stay with it if this tow truck is going to pull our way. I would like to see the damage done to this vehicle if that's available. But if they're going to stay a little bit longer, I understand. This is I-24 again near Joby Jackson Parkway as crews continue to clean up from what is a deadly accident. We do not know how many people are involved with this as of yet, but authorities are continuing their investigation. And because of that, they've shut down I-24. Looks like they've got a little bit more work to do before they tow those cars away. So let's move on to our traffic maps and system here so we can tell you a little bit more about exactly what is taking place here in this area. We can tell you that crews have been here since around 6 o'clock this morning. And since they've been there, they have turned around a lot of the traffic that was stalled out here in this area that was trying to go west towards Murfreesboro. They could not do that, so they've turned them around and gone back the other direction. What they have done is move them to another exit. This is 3 miles back behind it here at 24 Elam Road. That is somewhere between here and Joby Jackson is where they are pushing the traffic off and then back onto I-24 further down the line. The best way to steer clear is going to be using the Manchester Pike area here, Highway 41 and Highway 231, which is the Shelbyville Highway, both of them stacked up with traffic of their own, but it's better off than trying your luck on I-24, at least for now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
It is 8 o'clock on the dot right now. Good morning from Nashville. Starting to see the sun in some spots to kick off your Tuesday. Our Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus will let you know how the weather conditions are going to change as we go through the rest of your workday.
Plus, it's a debate that remains in the hearts and minds of many across the mid-state. After several months of pause, we're one step closer to getting some answers when it comes to this case. Now the battle over the Covenant School shooter's writings taking another turn. Details on why a resolution is still months away.
A deadly crash backs up traffic in Murfreesboro. In a few minutes, I'll show you where that is and have the details.
We do want to start, though, by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are your live local news source through 9 a.m. and important breaking news updates here to start your morning with Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar. She has been live out at the scene of that deadly crash on I-24 near Murfreesboro.
Good morning. Well, thousands of people drive through here daily, and in an instant, Tennessee Highway Patrol tells me that at least one person was killed because of a multiple car crash that happened right here behind me on I-24 westbound. Now, this is as close as we can get, but I want to show you what we have seen and are seeing. Traffic has been backed up for hours, but through that slither between the two tow trucks, we saw a few trailers making their way down this road. We don't know if those trailers were let through or they just snuck by, but what we do know is that those two tow trucks arrived about 30 minutes ago to try to take the two gray cars we showed you earlier that were crumpled from the impact. One of those gray cars were pried open by firefighters to remove a body. We don't know the identity of the person or why this crash happened. Now, I reached out to the Murfreesboro Fire Department along with the Tennessee Highway Patrol to get more information on why this crash might have happened. We're still waiting to be updated. Reporting live in Murfreesboro, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Karen, from a look right there on the ground. Let's get you out to I-24 there at Joby Jackson. You can see crews are continuing to work that scene as the interstate is closed still. Now, we have found exactly where they're funneling all the traffic. Let me move to another camera. It is right here. This is a little further back. This is going to be I-24. They're still calling it Joby Jackson, but it's a different exit here, and they're squeezing all that traffic by. You can see crews have stopped traffic here, so you cannot go any further. So if you're coming in from Beech Grove, from Manchester, into Nashville this morning, or into Murfreesboro in this case, you won't be going any further than this without getting off at this particular exit. Then they'll push you back on a little further down the line when the road is clear. We can tell you that the backup is rather extensive here. So in the meantime, you can always try to take Manchester Pike on this side, Shelbyville Highway on this side. That'll get you past that crash until the coast is clear, and we continue to follow it and tell you when it is.
8:03 our time. Taking a look at your forecast this morning has treated us pretty well when it comes to some sunshine out there. No rain just yet, but we've had a pretty cold start. Had a lot of frosty wind chills before the sun did come up and temperatures did dip into the 20s. Now we're going to get a little warmer, 54 later on this afternoon with your 3 big bullet points. Afternoon rain showers are possible with no thunderstorm activity. Overnight, a little winter mix is possible in the Cumberland Plateau. What does that mean for us by tomorrow morning? No winter impact. Don't worry about any slick roads. Don't worry about any ice or snow implications from this. Very light, and you'll probably sleep through most of it if you're out living in our higher elevations. Taking a look here, Future Track is just treating us better and better every time it updates throughout this morning. This is the least active that it's been since I was looking at this around 1 o'clock in the morning when we had a bunch of rain that could have come in. Now it has dialed it back a touch. There still will be some showers, but you get the idea. Very hit and miss, late morning into early afternoon for most of us. Cumberland Plateau will work into a little bit of rain, then really cold air moves in the blink of an eye overnight once the sun goes down. We could bring in that chance for a flurry or two as we go into the later stages of tomorrow night and very early tomorrow morning.
What it feels like to be shot at over and over and over and over again.
Now to continuing coverage on the legal battle over the Covenant School shooters' journals. Now a Metro judge set a hearing to hear arguments for April 16th and April 17th. This does all come after the National Police Association, the Tennessee Firearms Association, the Tennessean and the Tennessee Star newspapers, they all filed a lawsuit in April demanding the shooter's writings be made public. While the families of the 6 victims and others connected to the school, they do not want this to happen. Listen.
But when this case went up on appeal, I had other cases. And so I have not done a deep dive. I need Metro to tell me what documents they believe are responsive and why they are not producing them.
All right, the judge speaking there. 3 students and 3 school staffers were killed when a former student went on that rampage. That was last March. And Fox 17 News, we have been covering this extensively, getting all the details ever since it happened. If you'd like to catch up on previous coverage, go to fox17.com and simply search Covenant.
New this morning in Operation Crime and Justice, an investigation now underway after 2 people are shot and killed in Cheatham County Sunday. 2 bodies found at a home on Chestnut Street in Ashland City in Cheatham County. Those victims have now been identified as 66-year-old Carl Schoenfeld and 33-year-old Terry Lee Anderson Jr. Now, if you remember, just last week, we reported that the TBI agents were investigating the death of Corbin Rich, found dead in his car along Bear Wallow Road, also in Ashland City. Both of these investigations are very much active this morning. Fox 17 News is working to gather more information. We'll bring that to you on air and online as it becomes available.
The Wilson County mayor has heard a lot of complaints about the snow and the ice removal and why certain things were open and certain things were not. Coming up, he's got a message for all of the critics.
Tuesday, whose music I
8:09 is the time. The snow and ice is gone, but county and city leaders are still trying to justify their action from when that snow and ice was on the ground, clogging up lots of roads out there. And Randall Hutto is one of those who is now answering his constituents. He is the mayor of Wilson County. He got a lot of questions about why certain things were open and why certain things were not. A lot of questions about why there wasn't ice treatment and salt and sand put on certain roads and why other roads were not treated. He says that this is all because of a priority as well as lack of resources. Here's the mayor, and he says he promises he has heard you both in your voicemails and in your emails.
I got several emails and some pretty tough phone calls about, well, y'all must have ticked people off at the state because there are state roads not done. I've been in DeKalb and Smith and Charleston, all of them are good. The fact of the matter is they only have 1 or 2 state roads in those counties, and so they get done pretty quick. When you look at ours, we got Mount Juliet Road, Central Pike, 141, 171, 231, 40, 70, 840, 109, and it is a ton. And so they tell me they'll get to all of them as quick as they can, but you have a lot of state roads in your county.
Now, the mayor says he is very thankful for the service that he did receive from TDOT. He's also very thankful to all the city workers who got out there and did what they could to make sure that some services were available.
8:11 and taking a look at your forecast this morning. Definitely started off on a cold note, but we're already rebounding a little bit here if you are heading out the door in the next little while. We started with temperatures that were in the 20s now out the door on this January 30th. 39 degrees at 9 a.m., 44 at 10, and 48 degrees at 11. Right now we have the sunshine, but clouds will begin to move in throughout this morning and into early afternoon. And we can't unrule the fact we could see a chance for a shower or two late morning into early afternoon. That's what the forecast is looking like. Maybe you need a car wash. You see the sun right now, you go, this is perfect. Again, there is that chance for a passing shower early afternoon. After that, you are good to go. You're great for Wednesday into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to have a good 4 days worth of dry weather and continuing to warm when it comes to our temperatures. How warm do we get? Well, today 54, that's not bad. Tomorrow 45, and then 57 degrees on Thursday, lower 60s on Friday and Saturday. Nighttime temperatures get a little more on the mild side as well. If you're looking to make plans this weekend, Saturday is the day you're picking because Sunday is going to be on the rainier side.
Still clear traffic for you this morning at 8:12. Quick look at what we're dealing with. All right, so listen, they have now finished up towing away the vehicle involved in that fatal crash out there on I-24 near Joe B. Jackson. They have not fully reopened the interstate yet. TDOT is resetting their cameras as we speak here, so we're going to let them do that. Let me show you another part of this. They're forcing the traffic off right now here at I-24 in another section of Joe B. Jackson, and it's not going well. Look at that. It is at a standstill. It's not even crawling. It's not moving. So they need to reopen this interstate as soon as possible here if they are indeed done with that crash. We can see the TDOT workers leaving here. They're going the same direction as the traffic in the other lane, and that's got to stop. They got to get the traffic flowing back in the other direction here, and I imagine they'll be up to doing that coming up here the next few minutes. Let me show you what they are dealing with as far as ways to get around this. You can use Highway 41 here, Manchester Pike, or Shelbyville Highway, Highway 231. Both of them are going to be clogged, but we are hoping that 24 will open up in the next few minutes. Well, time is running out for the mid-state tornado victims to apply for help from FEMA. We're going to tell you when the cutoff is and how you can apply.
It's not extra to want it.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, and glad to be here for you through 9. It is 8:15 right now. Metro Nashville police telling Fox 17 News they have seized more than 120,000 fentanyl pills and some 30 pounds of meth after they were attempting a traffic stop just yesterday.
Just a bizarre scenario. Officers say they got a tip from the Drug Enforcement Administration and TBI about a rental car transporting a large quantity of drugs from Los Angeles all the way to Nashville. Long trip. They say they found the car driving on I-24 near exit 1 around 7 a.m. Police say 3 people were inside the car at the time, which did not stop for police. Antonio Johnson, Derek Johnson, and Ruth Bailey were all eventually, though, taken into custody, and they are now facing serious multiple charges.
Heads up for you. For those of you who might have had damage after the December tornadoes, the deadline to ask for federal help from FEMA is quickly approaching. That deadline coming up in February.
Yeah, so homeowners and renters over in Davidson and 6 other counties, they do have until February 12th to ask FEMA for financial help. The money can be used to cover lodging costs, home repairs, and other uninsured disaster-related expenses. It can go a long way. So far, FEMA has awarded more than $3 million to 1,600 households impacted by the tornadoes. We do have a link and phone number up on our website. That way you can get everything you need to know. Fox17.com. Just search FEMA assistance.
By the way, speaking of help, we know that tonight in Hendersonville, they've got a big benefit concert to help that community rebuild after the tornadoes.
It's all about the helping, and I'm telling you right now, we're going to get everything inconvenient out of here just in time for it.
Good.
So if you want to go help and you want to go help support everyone and go to the concert, you should be A-OK. Right now, we look beautiful outside. Look at that picture. Yeah, we burst into some sunshine. It's not going to last all day, but enjoy it while it's there. 33 degrees right now. We'll end up on a fairly cloudy note by the time we get toward the afternoon, and a shower or two cannot be ruled out because our weather maker is looming off to the north and west. It's slowed down a little bit, meaning that it's not going to be getting here as quickly, but it will still exit fairly quickly once it does make its way here. So you can see Mixes of greens and pinks, because there will be a little wintry mix with this for us in the plateau overnight tonight, but not really a daytime thing. Our temperatures get too warm before this moves in. Upcoming precip chances after today, nada. Not worried about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday in the upcoming forecast. Here is Future Track, and this is the model one we've been showing you here for about a half hour since it updated, where it doesn't show much green. But this is the time frame. Late morning into early afternoon. Here's 12 o'clock, when the clouds really do begin to take over and that rain potential will be there. This does it properly. Underdone a little earlier in the day. Do not discount the chance that there could be a shower or two that does pop up and then tracks out of here by the evening. Here's midnight. Midnight goes to 6 a.m. and there will be a few specks of some blue and some purplish pink on the radar, meaning a little wintry mix, but no winter impact when it comes to iced over roads or when it comes to any significant weather we have to worry about. So like I mentioned, that will be a good day for a car wash leading into tomorrow, and it should last you all the way into the upcoming weekend. Next chance for rain after today is not going to be until the back half of the upcoming weekend.
Still clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get a look at something we've been waiting a long time to see, and that is on I-24 at Joe B. Jackson Parkway. It would seem all emergency crews have left, so now it's just a matter of time before they will reopen the interstate in full. This is the site where they had that deadly accident around 6 o'clock this morning. So what are they waiting on? Well, let's take a look here. This is going to be I-24 at Joe B. Jackson at the exit. Looks like crews are preparing to release this traffic. This is the traffic that they would not allow to move forward on I-24 until the investigation is over. It would seem the investigation is over. So now they're just waiting to release this traffic so it can go on to I-24 and back on its road there into the city of Murfreesboro. This is the area we've been talking about all morning, right here where that crash is. Manchester Pike is a mess. So is Shelbyville Highway. It's a mess too. Down below that, we are dealing with a big slowdown. You can see the traffic backed up for several miles there. But again, we're hoping they will reopen this traffic almost any second now and give us a better path there into the city of Murfreesboro. We're just waiting on it here. Here comes TDOT pulling away. Are they going to release it? No, not yet. We're going to have to wait. We'll continue to stay on top of it.
Justin, thank you. Do me a favor and take a look at your screen, because we are seeing multiple road closures happening across Middle Tennessee. There are some in Dickson, Hickman, also Davidson County along I-40. Some of the closures are because of pothole repairs, and others are just general road maintenance, but you need to be aware of this. Fox 17 News, we're going to post a complete list online. That way you know what to expect before heading out the door or heading back home later this evening.
Nashville Yards developers have an announcement later today. We'll tell you what we know so far about this massive development next.
Joining a gym fashionably late.
Good morning. 8:23 is the time right now. Welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. It's a project years in the making and will forever change the landscape around downtown Nashville. New this morning, developers of the Nashville Yard set to give us an update on the 19-acre mixed-use development.
Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse is live for us this morning downtown with a look ahead to what they're going to be announcing a little bit later today.
That's right, guys. So we're right here on Church Street. We're actually standing right next to one of the massive parts of Nashville Yards. This area right here is set to be a 60-story skyscraper. It will be, once it's completed, the largest or the tallest skyscraper in the state. And you can see here that crews are busy at work this morning on both sides of Church Street. And right now, this is downtown, the heart of Nashville, right on Church Street. And developers, again, they will be giving us an update and have an announcement for us in about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. We've already got the Grand Hyatt Hotel here. Now there's a music venue that's coming, a music theater, restaurants, and so much more. And as Nashville continues to grow, more businesses want to relocate to Music City. Amazon, Oracle, and Pinnacle, just to name a few. And there will be 7+ acres of open green spaces for Nashville Yards. And Music City, we mentioned another music venue. It's going to hold about 4,500 people, and that's set to be done with construction in 2025, and then there's also going to be a 12-screen movie theater. So a lot of entertainment, a lot of things going on here for the Nashville Yards, and we'll let you know what that announcement is later. Again, that starts around 10 o'clock. They're going to give us a tour, so we'll keep you updated. Reporting live downtown, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:25, we're about an hour and a half into our sunrise for today. And take a look, we had the frost before the sun came up. A little frosty sunrise sent in by Tina from Goodlettsville. And we still have the sun for right now, but clouds will tick back over later today, so enjoy it for what it is. And if you ever do get some beautiful pictures like that, you can either go to fox17.com and chime in. And you should also, while you have your phone out already, we know you do, go scan the QR code right there. You can download the Fox 17 Code Red weather app, and then you'll have the same Doppler radar that we do when you're on the go, so you can track any incoming rain. There are a few showers possible later on this afternoon. We'll track next half hour.
Better news to report out of Rutherford County this morning. That I-24 accident that was fatal. Looks like we are just about there at the clearing stage. As a matter of fact, here it comes. Lots and lots of traffic. Hey, I hope the emergency crews move out of the way because it's coming up over the hill, coming up here in just a few seconds. But the traffic is reopening there on I-24 as you make your way out and about there in Rutherford County. Let me show you the other Vantage Way. They have now cleared the exit. They are allowing traffic to flow through again. This is after this part of the road has been shut down since 6 a.m. this morning.
New information now as we hear from the families of the 3 U.S. soldiers killed over the weekend in a drone attack in Jordan. They are Sergeant William Rivers, Specialist Kennedy Sanders, and we're also hearing about Specialist Brianna Moffitt. Dozens of other troops, though, got hurt, and doctors are busy treating those with serious injuries over in Germany. Militants, we understand, backed by Iran are being blamed, but Iran denies any kind of involvement. New this morning, though, the parents of 24-year-old Specialist Kennedy Sanders describing their daughter as goal-oriented, competitive, and they say she loved serving her country.
Remember her service and the commitment and the sacrifice she made for the country.
Yeah, it's just big sacrifice. The 3 were assigned to the 718th Engineer Company. It is a U.S. Army Reserve unit based out of Fort Moore, Georgia.
At 8:27 right now, folks living in Hendersonville, you're going to be asked to choose between 2 tax increases on an upcoming referendum. What the mayor has to say about the alternative.
Plus, Fox 17 News this morning is telling you about a mid-state school that's been given another 10 years. We've got details on the lengthy battle to keep its door open.
True or false? A case.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, 8:30 on the dot right now. Police making an arrest after stray bullets fly into a house, injuring a woman, terrifying her family, including a 5-year-old. New information this half hour on what led up to that shooting.
Changes in chances for rain later on this afternoon. They're not to zero, but a few of us might sneak away from the raindrops. A new look at Future Track.
Steer clear traffic takes us into North Nashville this time. Ellington Parkway near Cleveland Street. Well, we're dealing with another problem. We'll tell you the best ways to steer clear of this.
I want to start, though, by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We've always got you covered live through 9 a.m. And we do begin right now with a breaking news update from Rutherford County.
Yeah, we're tracking that breaking news out of Rutherford County. Like you said, the interstate there slowly opening up after a deadly crash. We're checking in with Fox 17 News' Kieran Aguilar, working to get some more updates out there at the scene. We can see some vehicles slowly behind you.
Yeah, that's right. T-Dalt tells me that they just opened up these lanes behind me on I-24 westbound just a few minutes ago, and you can clearly see that. You don't have T-Dot to let me tell you that. See how quickly these cars are passing through, but that's not what we saw earlier. We saw a huge backup of traffic for hours, piled up behind fire trucks and Rutherford County Sheriff's cars. Here on this interstate, traffic was rerouted to the Joe B. Jackson exit to alleviate some of that congestion. Tennessee Highway Patrol tells me at least one person died here on I-24. We saw 2 gray crumpled up cars being towed away, and first responders were hard at work to clear this all up so people can just get through the day. We still don't know what caused the crash or if there were any injuries to the other drivers. We're working to find out that information, and when we have it, we'll bring it to you. Reporting live in Murfreesboro, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. Let's take a look at that scene now that, again, is all clear there after 2.5 hours of standstill traffic as they investigated that deadly crash. Nothing more to see here. Investigators have moved on, and hopefully the traffic will ease up as well. Let's take you down there. There's the green. It was all red for most of the morning, but green finally starting to creep in here on I-24, and the green will slowly make its way towards Shelbyville Highway and Manchester Pike as well as the morning goes on. So good news there. Let's take you over into North and East Nashville. This is over on Ellington Parkway as we're dealing with what looks like maybe a flat tire or maybe a minor accident over there on the shoulder of the road. You can get by. Just take it slow as crews are working. Note the potholes here, not just here, but here and probably back behind this, which maybe, just maybe, caused that flat tire.
Taking a look right now, 8:33. At least the weather has not complicated everything else that we've been going through this morning, and we've not really had much to worry about other than just a cold start. We had some frosty wind chills this morning. Here's a look at January as a whole. 5.36 inches of total rainfall through yesterday. We could add a little bit today, maybe a trace or a few tenths of an inch, but that's just about it. This may end up being what we saw for the entire month, and that is above average. Then you add on the fact that we have the 7.6 inches of snow. That's not factored into the rainfall. Taking a look, blanketed by clouds by the afternoon. A few light rain showers possible. Flurries possible overnight tonight in the Cumberland Plateau. Neither of those two things are things we have to worry about. It's not going to be code red weather. We'll find the best days in the 7-day forecast in a moment. Temperatures haven't really gone anywhere just yet. They will. We were in the upper 20s and low 30s about an hour ago, and we're still in the same spot. So we're cold, but it looks pretty outside. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, we'll be up to 54 degrees this afternoon, and then tomorrow just a touch cooler at 45. Right back to the 50s on Thursday. We'll continue that warming into the low 60s on Friday and Saturday. Saturday is your pick of the upcoming weekend when it comes to getting outside and enjoying a really good day.
Greg, thank you. We have some new information this morning from Metro Police who say one man is facing charges after a woman was hit by a stray bullet. Police say she was inside of her Lewis Street home at the time.
How scary, right? To be in your own home with your toddler there with you. We know that this original crime unfolded on January 5th, but new this morning, police say Brian Eubanks is the one who got into an argument with a man who had just given him a ride home to Lewis Street. Officers say Eubanks opened fire as that truck was driving away, hitting the truck, plus hitting that house with the woman and her 5-year-old daughter inside at the time.
Goodness.
Eubanks taken into custody early this morning. He is now charged with aggravated assault. Hendersonville neighbors, heads up for you. You're going to be asked to choose between 2 tax increases. The mayor says in order to avoid drastic cuts in city services.
Like so many city services, inflation has taken a toll on the budget. Mayor Jamie Cleary says the only way to avoid layoffs in the police and fire departments is to increase taxes. So there's a referendum. It's scheduled for March 5th. Residents are being asked to approve a half-cent sales tax increase.
All right, the other alternative to that would be a 39% property tax hike. Just doing simple math here, and mind you, this number that I'm going to give you for the average cost to a Hendersonville taxpayer on the sales tax, they're saying is $75 a year, but that would certainly depend on what you buy, versus that $277 on average property tax increase. New this morning, Metro Nashville police are investigating what they call a robbery and a kidnapping that happened in a very popular part of town. This is right outside the Soho House. It's a members-only club in the Wedgwood, Houston area.
Well, police say the 40-year-old victim was approached by 2 men with guns. It happened last Tuesday night in the Breezeway area outside of Soho House. Again, Wedgwood, Houston. We're mapping it out for you. Police say the 2 suspects then drove her around to multiple banks before asking her to call a friend to get some cash. Well, they say the suspects spotted police at the planned meeting site and then left with the woman's phone and wallet. Now police are asking anyone who might have information about this case to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 742-7463.
8:37 is your time right now, and as we have complete coverage and steer clear traffic, a couple different live looks here. Top left is downtown Nashville. Bottom right is Ellington Parkway at Cleveland Street, where Justin is monitoring either maybe somebody with a flat or a minor fender bender. Either way, good heads up right now. Watch for the potholes. If you've ever paid more attention to where you're going, now would be a good time to do that. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
He called her, said, I want to return the dog.
We have breaking news this Tuesday morning. Israel's prime minister says he will not pull troops out of Gaza or release thousands of militants, both key Hamas demands in ceasefire talks. Now, during an event in the occupied West Bank, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he once again vowed that the war will not end without, quote, absolute victory over Hamas. He went on to say, quoting here, we will not end this war without achieving all of our goals. Hamas leadership has been invited to Cairo to continue ceasefire talks.
And here we are at 8:41, it's that time of the morning here. Weather's looking good, and it looks good for a dog walk. Here's our dog of the day, Blakely, sent in by Linda and Bill from Clarksville. And this is one of those days where really the morning is a little bit chilly, but the sunshine feels nice when you're out there. And we have no weather worries for the next, 4 or 5 hours at least when it comes to the Clarksville area. 39 degrees, at 9 o'clock at 3 p.m. We get our way up to 55. There will be an increase in cloud cover throughout the afternoon, and we can't discount the chance for a shower. It'd be brief and very light, non-concerning when it comes to any issues, but that's the time frame, late morning into early afternoon, where you might want to check the Code Red Weather app just to see if there's a shower anywhere near you. But the morning hours looking good. You see those percentage chances, though, creep in. They're small, but they're there for early afternoon when those temps do go into the 50s. And if you want to share your dog of the day, you can very easily do so. We'll show you how to do that each and every morning. You just go to my Facebook page, meteorologist Greg Bobus. There's a pin post. You put it on there. You could see it right here on air. And go get the car washed. If yours look like any of them that are in the parking lot that I park in all the time, we probably all could use a nice little car bath here in the coming days. Your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they're all going to be dry. So once we get past the first few hours of this afternoon, we'll be dry for the rest of the week.
Steer clear traffic for you. Let's get to Ellington Parkway at Cleveland Street. They're on the east side of town there. As you make your way down from East Nashville and Madison, we do have a couple of cars there on the shoulder of the road involved in either a traffic crash or perhaps one car has a flat tire. Be that as it may, whatever it is that's got them pulled over on some of these potholes that you see here and all over here and here and here. All of this could get you pulled over very quickly if you hit them too fast. So be aware about those on areas like Ellington and other areas around town this morning. We're continuing to follow that slow roll out of Hendersonville. Here is Vietnam Veterans Boulevard headed towards the Rivergate area. Overall drive time, something like this. 39 minutes right now coming in from Mount Juliet, 32 minutes from Hendersonville, 55 minutes out of Murfreesboro. We'll be right back.
So you got hit by a drunk driver.
I did it.
Welcome back. We are continuing to follow all the action at the State House during this legislative session.
Yeah, today a big coalition of people aiming to fight teenage smoking going to be at the Capitol, and Fox 17 News reporter Kelly Avellino here to break down the big issues that we're going to see come up this year.
That's right, guys. Well, we got about 60 cancer survivors and the American Cancer Society heading over to the Capitol today to speak with legislators about their anti-smoking and prevention initiatives. In Tennessee, those programs get about $2 million a year. They're hoping to give it about $13 million this year. That's what those advocates will be talking to legislators about. This, as we know, teens are particularly prone to vaping or e-cigarettes. Nicotine still in there, not as much of the tobacco, but still harmful chemicals. About 10% of our teens smoking at this point. So maybe not the cigarettes like we saw the baby boomer generation, but certainly a different form of smoking here. I can tell you that Tennessee has the third highest adult smoking rate in the country and the third highest cancer rate because of smoking. So they really want to target these kids while they're still in high school. Listen.
In some communities, they have individuals that can go into schools and provide resources for parents and administrators and teachers and students kind of on how to prevent use of e-cigarettes and nicotine and tobacco altogether, but also quit.
Now, some context for you on funding. Tennessee is supposed to get $406 million from a settlement this year with tobacco companies to compensate for healthcare costs. Tennessee has been getting this type of money for years. Year after year, this settlement came about in 1998. They spend, again, about $2 million of the
Wow.
$406 million that they get.
And Kelly, there are some other bills that are proposed to combat this big issue dealing with teenagers. One, I'm reading your notes here. One is to heighten the penalty for kids under 21 caught smoking on a school campus.
That's right. If you're under 21 and you're caught smoking on a school campus, this bill would make it a Class C misdemeanor. This is a bit controversial. Some, like those who propose the bill, say, you know what, a tougher stance is going to discourage kids from smoking, particularly smoking on school campuses. Others say, like the American Cancer Society, nope, we don't support this. We believe that all the onus, all the responsibility and consequence should be on those tobacco companies that they say are the problem in the first place.
All right, we'll see how it unfolds. Kelly, thanks for following that story for us. Right now, 8:40, just about 8:48. And we have our Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus ready to give us that jogging forecast if you're going to get out and get active
this is one
today.
of those mornings where, get the blood pumping here. It's a little bit cool, but it's sunny. So at least it'll look nice outside. You have no rain. We have no weather concerns until later on this afternoon. That's when a few light showers are possible. And the wind will pick up a little bit out of the south here to bring in some warmer times before we cool back for just one day tomorrow. Jogging forecast looks good. Incoming precip chances after today. I'm starting this with tomorrow. Looking ahead, forecasting ahead for you. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, nothing. Start making your plans now. We have not had a nice stretch of good, warmer weather in quite some time. Future track does pull in that cloud cover late morning into the afternoon. And with this specific time period, doesn't show much rain on it for future track. I don't buy it. We're going to have some rain that does come down in the form of these little pockets of light rain showers, and then they will linger out toward the plateau. This is 6 p.m. Overnight tonight, colder temperatures take over. We get back to right near freezing, which will allow us to have a few flurries very late tonight into the first few hours of tomorrow morning. If you're up by, say, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning out on the Cumberland Plateau, you might see a few flakes flying. They're not going to be of any significance when it comes to winter weather impacts. No slick spots, no sticking to pavement that we have to worry about. But they might look pretty if you're up early enough. What else looks pretty is the 7-day forecast. 45 tomorrow. 57 on Thursday, lower 60s on Friday and Saturday. If you want to make plans for the weekend, those are the 2 days I would be picking, because Sunday, rain moves back in for the back half of the weekend.
Steer clear traffic. They're calling this debris on Broadley Parkway. Take a look, everyone. This is going to be Broadley Parkway here near Clarksville Highway on the north side. On an earlier shot, they had all the dirt over here on the shoulder of the road. Unsure exactly what happened here, but TDOT has just arrived. They're setting up the cones now, which means they're going to be here for a little bit in this area. So if you're on Broadley Parkway headed westbound towards the West Nashville area, eventually Centennial Boulevard, County Hospital Road, they've got that whole area blocked off right now because of some type of debris there in the roadway, and they're going to be there trying to get that up. So yeah, pay attention to the folks out there. And don't try to go through the lanes there, because they've got them blocked off. Here is Ellington Parkway, very close to Cleveland Street on the east side of town. A couple of cars pulled over there, but you can still see the road is a mess. A lot of potholes and divots out there in the road. Watch out for that, not just there, but elsewhere as well.
Justin, thank you. 8:50 is the time right now. Crisis in the classroom. The state giving rocket ship Nashville Northeast Charter School the gift of time, you could say, after the Metro Nashville School Board voted to shut its doors.
Well, back in November, Metro School Board denied rocket ship's renewal application in an 8-1 vote, but the charter school appealed that decision to the state level. Well, the MNPS director of charter schools speaking with Fox 17 and cited concerns about the school's high absentee rate and trouble retaining teachers. However, a rocket ship representative said the school is high performing. And on Friday, the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission, they went ahead and voted unanimously to allow rocket ship to be open for the next 10 years.
If you are looking for a way to score some extra cash heading into the Super Bowl, maybe you're going to, do a big spread for your friends and family, you could win an extra $100 in a Visa gift card by playing the Big Game Trivia Contest. Put your football knowledge to the test by scanning that QR code right there. You register and answer today's question correctly. You could win that $100 Visa gift card and be entered to win that $5,000 weekly grand prize.
After the break, you're on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning. After several months of pause, we are one step closer to getting some answers. There is a final update on the battle over the Covenant School shooters' writings.
And at 8:52 right now, live look from I-65 at Rosa Parks. You know, we work all morning long to keep you updated on that morning commute. Definitely a backup here. Not worth a detour, but this is I-65 as you approach the 40 split. Like, say you were going to head toward Bellevue. Just a brake check as you approach that split at Rosa.
Right now, we have a quick recap of our top stories. Including our top story is the legal battle over the Covenant School shooters' journals. Now, a Metro judge is set a hearing to hear arguments for April 16th and 17th.
Of course, this all comes after the National Police Association, the Tennessee Firearms Association, the Tennessean, and the Tennessee Star newspapers all filed lawsuits in April demanding that the shooters' writings be made public. The families of the 6 victims and others connected to the school say they don't want that to happen.
And Fox 17 News, of course, we've been covering this story extensively since it first happened. If you'd like to see all of our coverage, go to fox17.com and search Covenant.
Also developing this morning, Metro Nashville police say they've taken in about 120,000 fentanyl pills and some 30 pounds of meth after a traffic stop that happened just yesterday.
A bizarre scenario. Well, officers say they got a tip from the Drug Enforcement Administration and TBI about a rental car transporting a large quantity of drugs from Los Angeles to Nashville. They say they found the car driving on I-24 near Exit 1 around 7 a.m. and police say 3 people were in the car at the time. They did not stop for police.
Antonio Johnson, Derek Johnson, and Ruth Bailey all eventually taken into custody. They're facing several charges. We have breaking news just in this morning, and I want to get you updated very quickly here before we go off the air. We are getting word that the UPS has announced they will be eliminating approximately 12,000 jobs, they say, trying to reduce the cost by $1 billion. Now, the initial reports coming in from ABC News this morning did a little bit of research here. You may remember last summer, UPS union workers claimed victory whenever they demanded pay increases or threatened to strike. Well, they did come to that deal raising the wages, and now here we are learning about some 12,000 jobs that could be cut. We do have thousands of people working for UPS here in Tennessee, but no word yet on the impact here at home.
And Tennessee joining 26 other states in a letter to the Biden administration and other headlines supporting Texas's border defense. This does come after Texas Governor Greg Abbott pushed back against federal lawmakers last week and then added more wire to the border fence.
Okay, so according to a release from our Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti here in Tennessee, federal district court found that Texas's border defense wires did in fact reduce the number of illegal border crossings by about 2/3. AG Skrmetti's office says that the states are demanding that the feds either enforce the laws to secure the southern border or allow the states themselves to stop that flow of illegal immigrants.
We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist.
Looking pretty good right now. Sun is out. We're still a little bit on the cool side in the 30s, but this afternoon, 54. There's a chance for a passing shower or two when we get toward the afternoon hours. Most of us will stay dry, but just get a little cloudier. And then overnight tonight, if you're in the Cumberland Plateau and you wake up very early in the morning to catch us here at 4 a.m., you could be seeing a few snowflakes flying, but no big impact, and they'll be done real quick.
We want the sunshine.
We'll be back Thursday.
It's coming. Steals and deals now, though. Hope you have a great day.
See you tomorrow.